Rouge Lotus. By Ashenafi. Int. Barnes & Noble, Los Angeles, book signing, day. 2049. A good-looking man, Louis Ryan, 34, sit at a table, signing books that he wrote, Blue Lotus. People stands in a line, waiting. On the soundtrack, music plays. Louis places his signature, and gives the book to an attractive woman about 35. She takes the book, thanks him and walks away. Next, an attractive girl about 24, who is supporting blue hair, gives him a copy, Blue Lotus, to sign. Louis places his signature in the book and gives her the book back. The girl takes the books, winks at him and walks away. Louis continues to sign. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. 2045 Bugatti Veyron convertible, Louis is behind the wheel, driving in the street of Los Angeles while texting on his cell phone. Ext Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. An established shot of Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible driving in the street of Los Angeles. Then. Louis's Bugatti Veyron runs a stop sign. Out of nowhere comes a car and hits the Bugatti Veyron out of scenario. Louis's Bugatti Veyron spins on the road. Ext/int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, day. Louis's body is jerked from the effect. The Bugatti Veyron convertible begins to smoke. Louis's POV, everything looks fuzzy. The screen is blurry. We can't make out anything. Louis closes his eyes slowly. Ext/int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, minutes later. We see ambulance and firefighters. Louis opens his eyes, unlocks the door, and exits. An officer named Trevor approaches Louis, who is confused as hell. Louis, what happened? Officer Trevor, they said you ran a stop sign and crashed into that Volvo. Louis looks at the Volvo. It's a 2049 Volvo XL. It's badly damaged. Two paramedics are in the middle of treating the driver, a young woman named Ivy Williams, 25. Officer Trevor, do you have your driving license with you? Louis reaches into his pocket, takes out his wallet, pulls out his driver license, and hands it to the officer. Officer Trevor takes Louis's license and begins to write down Louis's information. Officer Trevor, do you have your insurance card with you? Louis, yes. It's in the compact glove. Officer Trevor, get it? Louis returns to his car, opens the compact gloves, grabs his insurance card. Louis steps out, gives Officer Trevor his insurance card. Officer Trevor takes the insurance card and continues to write down Louis's information. Louis then looks around the chaos, ambulances and police cars blinking, firefighters, and police officers moving everywhere, paramedics taking Ivy Williams in a medical stretcher, the Volvo smoking, etc. He takes out his cell phone and makes a call. We take it with overhead shot, looking down the commotion. Then. Quick montage, the city of Los Angeles, skyscrapers, streets, thousands of cars driving in the streets of Los Angeles, beaches and buildings and houses on the coastline of California, etc. Ext Louis's beach house, Malibu, sunset. It's typical beach house next to the Pacific Coast Highway. A taxi comes driving and pulls next to the house. Int. Taxi, night. Louis pays the taxi drivers $100. Louis, keep the change. The taxi driver takes the money and nods his head thanks. Louis opens the door and gets out of the car. The taxi driver reverses out and drives away as Louis heads toward his house. Louis opens the door and enters. Int. Louis's beach house, sunset. Louis walks down the living room, enters into the kitchen. Kitchen. Louis comes up to the refrigerator, opens the refrigerator, and grabs a can of soda, Coke. He pops open the Coke and takes a sip as he walks toward the living room. Main living room. Louis takes a sip. There is a gunshot bow. He drops his soda. It comes from upstairs. We hear 3 more gunshot, bow. 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 Louis doesn't know what he is going on. He slowly begins to climb the staircase. Louis completely climbs the staircase and walks toward the bathroom. Bathroom. Louis enters and sees his wife Rachel Ryan lying in the bathtub dead. She is shot in the head, chest, breast, and stomach. The tub is filled with Rachel's blood. He looks at the murder weapon, Colt 45, on the floor and thinks about picking it up for a second. But he knows it's a bad idea. In the meantime, Louis feels dizzy. There is something wrong with the air. We don't know what it is. He holds his head and collapses on the floor. Int. Louis's beach house, bathroom, minutes later. Louis opens his eyes. Louis's POV. Everything remains fuzzy. Outside, we hear police car siren, blaring. We see blue and red light flashing on the window. On the soundtrack, Mozart's Flute Concerto No. 2 in D major, K314 plays. Int. Louis's house, living room, night. Detective James Carter questions Louis, who is sitting at the coffee table. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Louis answers a couple of questions without a sound. Int. Louis's house, bathtub, night. Homicide detective Brad Smith and forensics team Luke Terry and Jody Lovett collect evidence. A forensic photographer Toby McKee takes photos of Rachel's corpse. Brad examines the murder weapon farther, he scans it with FIS, fingerprint identifying scanner. Louis's fingerprint appears on the screen of the FIS. Brad puts the gun in a plastic bag and walks toward the living room. EXT Lewis's house, night. Police cars, ambulance, and newsvans are parked in front of the house. Cops, reporters, photographers, and paparazzi are moving in chaos. Two paramedics exit from the house with Rachel's body on a medical stretcher and place her body inside the ambulance. Then, Detective James Carter and Lewis, who is cuffed, exit. The paparazzi rush to Lewis and Detective James Carter, flashing their camera light and asking them all kinds of questions. The police officers push the paparazzi aside as Detective James Carter continues to escort Lewis toward the police car. Detective James Carter and Lewis come up to the police's car, Ford Crown Victoria. Detective James Carter opens the door, places Lewis in the suspect transport enclosure, closes the door. Detective James Carter walks around the car, gets in the driver's seat, starts the car, and drives through the paparazzi as they continue to take Lewis's pictures through the car's windows in chaos. Int. Courtroom, day. A packed gallery of court attendants, reporters, and news personalities. The judge is Robert Wilson. He is 58 years old. Lewis's lawyer Joshua Spencer sits in the right-hand side of the court. His assistant Sarah Richards sits next to him. The prosecutors are led by Naomi Moore, who can be seen sitting in the left-hand side of the court, and Felix Parker, who is questioning the witness/defendant. D.A. Parker, in your statement, you said you collapsed. You didn't remember anything. Am I correct? Lewis is in the witness stand. Lewis, yes. In the jury box, we see diversity of people, from an old school teacher to a young engineer, from a traditional housewife to a modern businesswoman. From a factory worker to a pioneer. From a librarian to an author. From sales clerk to a fashion designer. They listen to the testimony carefully. D.A. Parker, few days prior to her death, you hired a private detective named Keith Gibson to follow her. Am I correct? Lewis, it's not what it seems. D.A. Parker, interrupting him, just answer yes or no. Lewis, yes. D.A. Parker, you found out that she was having an affair with a journalist named Seth Blake. You were upset, and decided to kill her while she was taking a bath. You shot her in cold blood like hell. Lewis's lawyer Joshua gets up. Joshua, objection. That is mindless speculation. D.A. Parker, showing the pictures of the victim to the jury: a bullet into her head, a bullet into her chest, a bullet into her heart, and a bullet into her stomach. Joshua, loudly objection. District Attorney is using those photos for shock appeal. They don't prove anything. My client is innocent. Judge Wilson grabs his gavel and hits it against a sounding block. Judge Wilson, hitting his gavel against the block: order. 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 There is order. They all get quiet. Judge Wilson, I can't allow street talk in my courtroom. If you want to shout, do it in the bar. This is a courtroom. Show some respect. There is a silent moment. Judge Wilson then. Judge Wilson, overrule, to the district attorney. You may continue. D.A. Parker, to Lewis: you hired a private detective. Mr. Gibson. He followed her. Later, Mr. Gibson showed you the pictures of your wife and Seth Blake in act. You then killed her. Am I correct? Lewis, that is not true. I have always known she was promiscuous. I got her followed, because I was looking for new materials for my next book. I kind of got writer's block, or rather just few information. D.A. Parker, cuts him off: that's your reason to kill her. You got writer's block, so you could go out and write a best-selling novel, or maybe achieve everlasting prominence like William Shakespeare, Mark Twain, and James Joyce. Joshua gets up from his seat. Joshua, objection. That is absolute speculation. D.A. Parker, to Lewis: you don't have to answer that. No farther question. He walks towards the camera. Int. Courtroom, day. 2049. D.A. Parker holds the jury mesmerized with his closing summation. D.A. Parker, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard all the evidence, you know all the facts. We have the accused at the scene of the crime. We have the murder weapon. We have his fingerprints on the murder weapon. Most of all, we had an innocent young woman lying dead in the bathtub, so he could go out and write a best-selling novel by pumping 4 bullets into his wife. Thus believing cold-blooded murder. Ladies and gentlemen, consider the evidence that the prosecutors presented against the defendant and ask yourself what your duty is as citizens of this community. Int. Courtroom, day. The hush of 100 silences. We can feel the air crackle in the stillness. Judge Wilson is leafing through papers. No one coughs, no one blinks. Judge Wilson clears his throat. Has the jury reached a verdict? In the jury box, Jury 1 gets up. Jury 1, we have, Your Honor. He holds out the verdict. Judge Wilson, will the bailiff please bring the verdict to the bench? The bailiff brings the verdict and hands the slip to the judge. Judge Wilson unfolds it and looks at it. He hands it back to the bailiff. Judge Wilson, will the defendant please rise? Lewis rises. The bailiff returns the verdict to the foreman. Foreman takes the verdict and opens the slip of paper. Judge Wilson, will the foreman please read the verdict aloud? Lewis looks at Jury 1. Jury 1, reads: we the jury, find the defendant, Lewis Ryan, guilty. Lewis says nothing, as if he knew it was coming. Int. Courtroom, day, 2049. Lewis stands before the judge. Judge Wilson looks at him. Judge Wilson, you strike me as a particularly pitiless man, Mr. Ryan. By the power vested in me by the state of California, I hereby order you to be frozen for indefinitely and be the subject for future experiment. Judge Wilson reaches strong to the gavel. Int. Cyber Prison, Day, 2050. Lewis lies in a cryogenic storage. We see 6 prison staff members in white jackets. The prison warden Richard Madison, who is standing in the glass room, looks at his watch. He then gives a prison staff member a nod. The prison staff member, Jacob, presses a button. We see all kinds of chemicals, blue, red, yellow, green, filling freezing tubes. Lewis is finally frozen alive. Fade to, black. Rouge Lotus. Superimpose, 100 years later. Fade in. Montage, Los Angeles City, year, 2150. A quick take of the city of Los Angeles in the year 2150, downtown Los Angeles, the Hollywood sign, Beverly Hills, Mulholland Drive, the buildings on the coastline of California, and others. Int. Cyber Prison, Day. Lewis is in a glass-covered freezer. We see 4 men and 2 women in full medical spacesuits are in the process of unfreezing Lewis. The leading technical Dr. Russell presses a button on the machine. Blue liquid fills one of the tubes. Then the glass door opens automatically. Dr. Russell examines Lewis, he checks Lewis's heartbeat and eyes and confirms Lewis is okay. Int. Freud Neurological Center, Medical Room, Day. Lewis lies on the medical bed with closed eyes. Medical tubes and electronic devices are attached into him. Then at the door, Dr. Sophia Cruz, 36, enters with Lewis's medical chart. She looks at Lewis's medical chart. Instead of typical medical X-ray and MRI that we see in regular healthcare facilities and medical buildings, here they have advanced video screening that show Lewis's brain, heart, and other internal organs in 3D and virtual reality. Dr. Cruz looks at the video and marks on the chart, Lewis is fine. Int. Freud Neurological Center, Dining Room, Day. It's a big dining room. Lewis sits at a table alone. A nurse named Vanessa King, 24, walks in carrying Lewis's meal on a tray, rice, fish, bread, corn, and cranberry juice. Vanessa comes to Lewis's table and places the food in front of him. Lewis takes a fork and knife and begins to eat. Vanessa grabs Lewis's medical chart from a table, sits across him and begins to take a note. Lewis looks at her with curiosity. He thinks she is quite pretty but lets his heart do the wondering, and continues to enjoy his meal. Int. Freud Neurological Center, Interview Room, Day. Lewis sits at the table. Dr. John Mason, 42, walks in with Lewis's file and sits in front of him. Dr. Mason, hi. I'm Dr. Mason in charge of everything. Your case was reviewed. You are actual innocent of the crime you were charged. A man named Paul Burton confessed for the killing of your wife right before he died with lung cancer 50 years ago. But his words weren't reliable at that time. Luckily, last year, they did a TV forensic show on your wife's case. They found a nerve gas called V36 in her system, which led you to collapse like you described it in your testimony. The killer then could have planted the gun on your hand after you blocked out. Nobody knows his motive. Actually, you're innocent of the crime you were charged. Yet, since you are found guilty in the first place, the court wants you to participate in one experiment. Then you are free to go. Dry humorously, you can look at it like a community service. Pushes the file in front of Lewis. Sign here. Lewis signs in ease. Lewis, what year is this? Dr. Mason, it's the year 2150. You had been frozen for 100 years. Lewis, what is the experiment? Dr. Mason, I will tell you in a minute. Int. Freud Neurological Center, Dream Room, Day. Lewis sits in a DI chair, Advanced Dream Interpreter chair. Standing with Lewis's medical file, Dr. Mason breaks down the project. Dr. Mason, our brain records everything that's around us and stores the information in memory. It's better than any supercomputer that mankind has ever made. And if somehow, we can harness our brain full potential, we'll be limitless. We can walk through the wall. We can teleport. We can be in many places at the same time. We can exploit alternative universes and utilize all cosmic forces. You see, this drug that you are about to take has a secret ingredient called Xenix. It stimulates every nerve cell in your brain and lets the molecules interact with each other 100 times faster than they accustomed to, and unleash your maximum aptitude. We are talking about the mind of God. But it's proven men are more potent in their sleeping state than awaken. In our sleep, we are the power to fly free of gravity and do all kinds of amazing things, like creating realities that are majestic, and interacting with people we have never met before. So, this experiment will be conducted in your sleeping state. We have a technology that turns dreams into digital video, which means we can see your dream on the TV screen. There are 52 TV screens behind that glass window, next room, and 52 neurologists and scientists will analyze your dream. Good luck. Dr. Mason gives his assistants Dr. Serena Keaton, 32, who is standing with a syringe, to inject Lewis. Dr. Keaton, Serena, relax. This might sting a little bit. Lewis acts cool. Dr. Keaton injects Lewis in the vein. Then, ADI chair, Advanced Dream Interpreter chair that Lewis is sitting in, slides backward automatically. Next, the SVRT, Supervisual Resonance Tomography, moves down, scans Lewis's brain and sends bright light in his brain. EXT Paris, Bridge, Day. Lewis walks in an uninhabited bridge over Serene River. He then sees Rachel, who is wearing a wedding gown, standing next to the frame and looking at the water. Rachel turns her eyes and looks at him. Louis slowly approaches her. She walks toward him. As Louis gets closer to Rachel, about a foot, Rachel turns into pigeons. The pigeons fly away. In the meantime, out of nowhere a girl who looks exactly like Rachel in flesh and blood, Rachel herself, appears behind Louis, wearing a bewitching red dress. Louis turns around and looks at her. Rachel approaches him and stands close to his lips. Rachel, softly, did you miss me? Louis, you have no idea. There is a silent moment. She then. Rachel, what did you miss the most about me? Louis looks at her eyes. Louis, under his breath everything. They kiss. Close up, Louis and Rachel. They kiss more intimately. The camera does 360. All of a sudden we find Rachel and Louis in Times Square, Manhattan, New York City, kissing intimately in the middle of the street. We see Louis and Rachel kissing on the big screens at Times Square. Everything around Louis and Rachel moves in slow motion. People look at Louis and Rachel with curiosity, who are kissing in normal speed. Then all of a sudden, things begin to move in fast forward. Yet, Louis and Rachel continue to kiss at normal speed. Then, everybody freezes as if time stopped ticking. Louis and Rachel part their lips. Louis looks at the people. They all turn into Rachel. Louis doesn't know what is going on. The clones of Rachel turn into rose petals and drop on the ground like some kind of magic show. The actual Rachel gives him a pleasant smile and turns into water, and drops on the ground. The water supernaturally vaporizes and turns into fog. The fog floats in the air with the image of Rachel. Louis looks at her in wonder and longing. Louis is alone in the street of Manhattan. There is not a single soul in the area like vanilla sky. He looks at all four directions. He then sees a girl named Mia, who is standing next to her red Corvette convertible and smoking cigarette with style. She is wearing a beautiful light purple gown. Mia says, hi to Louis under her breath, and waves her hand. Louis walks up to her. Mia, what's up? Louis, nothing much. Mia, I heard you have been frozen for 100 years. What did you do? Louis says nothing. Mia, it's okay. You don't have to tell me anything. Things happen for a reason. Then, the background around Louis and Mia changes as if by magic. We find Louis and Mia on the very top of Empire State Building. EXT Empire State Building, day. Mia begins to walk on the edge of the building fearlessly. Louis looks at her in wonder. Mila does a breathtaking ballet, a well-choreography move. Mia, I thought I would never see you again. Louis, what make you think that? Mia gets down and walks up to him. Mia, seductively down by lips, I had a nightmare. I was posing nude for you. You were painting me on a canvas. Then my ex-boyfriend walked in with a gun and shot you. Yet, mysteriously, you managed to disappear through the thin air. Louis, humorously, how did I do that? Mia, seductively down by his lips, why don't you tell me? They kiss. Int. New York Ballet House, Theater, night. Mia is in the middle of performing a ballet in front of thousands of audiences. She dances with a man named Vladimir. It's erotic, sensual, seductive, and energetic ballet. They look amazing. Louis sits in the middle of the theater and watches her. Then Vladimir changes into Louis mysteriously. Louis and Mila do erotic ballet as if they were making love on the ballet floor. Then, Louis and Mia kiss passionately. Int. Louis's beach house, bedroom, night. Round candlelight. Louis and Mia make love. It's sensual, steamy, and passionate. We stay with them with serious cut. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, day. 52 neurologists and scientists, who are sitting behind their computers, Serena, Dr. Keaton, and Dr. Mason, who is leading the project, look at 55 plus TV screens that are showing Louis's dream, analyzing his dream as Louis and Mia continue to make love. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Dream Room, day. Louis sits in a DIC, Advanced Dream Interpreter chair, and continues to dream. EXT University of California at Hollywood, day. An established shot of University of California at Hollywood. It's bigger than two colleges, UCLA and UCS, put together. It is a major educational institution. Louis takes a walk in the university, accompanied by a girl named Emily Taylor, 24, who is the middle of giving Louis a tour. Two security servicemen, Peter and Clifton, follow them behind, making sure that Louis doesn't do anything unexpected. Emily, I know you have been frozen for 100 years. A lot of things have been changed since then. I'll give you a full video tour later. But now you'll get to see the Pacific Ocean and some important landmarks for the time being. Louis and Emily come to Emily's Lamborghini convertible. Emily gives the two men a sign, I will be fine. They nod, sure. Emily's Lamborghini convertible, Emily opens the door for Louis. Louis gets in the passenger seat. Emily walks around the car, gets behind the wheel and starts the car. Emily and Louis drive away. EXT Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. A medium shot of Emily's Lamborghini convertible with Emily and Louis as they drive in the street of Los Angeles. Int. Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. Close up, Emily and Louis. Emily, are you hungry? Louis, I am okay. Emily, if you are hungry, we can stop by Mickey. Off Louis's look, It's a famous fast food chain. It's like McDonald's, without apostrophe S. It's healthier. They use biscuit, instead of regular bread. They have the best seafood burger in the world. I will buy you. It's my treat. Louis, thanks. But no thanks. I just ate. Emily, humorously such yourself. Louis smiles softly. Louis, playing along, I am vegetarian. Emily, really? Louis, occasionally. Emily, what do you mean occasionally? Louis, every Wednesday and Friday. Emily, how convincing is that? Louis, I got the idea from Ethiopia. They fast for 2 months. In addition to that, they don't eat any dairy product and meat on Wednesday and Friday. Emily, that is new. I mean, I didn't know that. I could use that to my diet plan. You know, I thought about switching to vegetarian. However, after 3.5 months, I went back to my usual diet routine, seductively, foods that are rich with protein. Louis smiles softly. EXT Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. A medium shot of Emily's Lamborghini convertible as Emily and Louis continue to drive. EXT/int. Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. Louis and Emily continue to drive. There is a silent moment. Louis looks at the Pacific Ocean. Louis, where are we? Emily, we are in Malibu Beach. I will just park my car here. Emily parks her car next to the beach. Louis, I used to live in this area. Emily, I know. Emily leans over his lap and opens the door for him. Emily, opening her door, come on. This is our first stop. Louis feels Emily's touch. There is a tingling. Yet he acts cool, opens the door wider and steps out of the car as Emily exits at the other end. Emily comes behind her car, opens the trunk, takes off her clothes, and stands in a red sexy bikini, revealing her amazing abdomen, voluptuous body, full-blossomed breasts, and curvaceous buttocks. Emily closes the truck and walks up to Louis. Louis looks at her. He's mesmerized. Emily, if we walk 2 miles that direction, they have a recreation center. You can take a boat ride, jet skiing, surfing, the list goes on. Emily and Louis begin to walk toward the beach. They take down a staircase and walk on the sand. Louis looks at the activities, people sailing, surfing, jet skiing, swimming, lying on the sand, suntanning and kissing, water skiing, etc. Yet they are still a mile away from the main beach, which give them time to appreciate the Pacific Ocean and golden sand beach as they continue to walk down the shoreline, talking. Louis, what is the plan? Emily, what do you want to do? Louis, I don't know, I'd love to surf. But and then again, I haven't surfed for 100 years. Emily, you can still surf. This beach is known for its breathtaking waves. Surfers love it. Louis, it's okay. I will do it some other time. There is a silent moment. They continue to walk. Louis looks at the ring on her finger. Louis, I notice you are wearing a ring. Are you married? Emily, yes and no. Yes, I am married. And no. It's not official. My boyfriend and I decided to live together as husband and wife without a marriage license. Louis, how come? Emily, that way, I want the world to know that I'm not a gold digger. Louis, what do you mean by gold digger? Emily, his father has more money than God. They own the biggest robot company in the world, Robotech. They are quadrillionaire literally. I thought I would do them justice if we just lived together without the marriage paper. You know, his family, media and tabloids think I am a leech, which is totally irritating. Louis, let them think that. You are the most beautiful girl I have ever met. It's their misfortune. Emily smiles in beauty. Emily, thanks for the compliment. Anyway, I don't care. I know what I got myself into. I have to live with the consequence. Humorously, quoting the notorious B.I.G., more money, more problems. Louis says nothing. There is a silent moment. He then. Louis, how long have you been married, or if you want to call it together? Emily, married 3 months. Together a year. Louis, I see. There is a silent moment. He then. Louis, are you in love with him? Emily, what kind of question is that? That's why I am with him. Off his look, I mean, in general, I don't really believe love has meaning. It is a bad habit like cigarette. First it means nothing. Then you met the love of your life. Not only cause lungs cancer, but also give you heart disease. You feel suffocated. It consumes you alive, just a thought of it. Yet, they said, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So does love. It might change here and there. But the feeling will always be with you. I don't have the slightest idea what I am talking about. I must be daydreaming. She looks at him. Louis catches her eyes and smiles at her softly. She returns his smile. On the soundtrack, music comes. They continue to walk down the beach while talking. Montage. Malibu Recreation Center, Pacific Ocean. Louis and Emily are in the middle of jet skiing. Surfing board store, Louis and Emily rent 2 surfing boards. Pacific Ocean, Louis and Emily surf. They are having a lot of fun. Emily is beginner. Louis is a natural-born surfer. He swims toward the wave lying on his surfing board. A perfect wave, Louis gets on his surfing board and rides in the wave. He is amazing. Emily looks at him in awe. Tattoo store, Louis and Emily are getting fake tattoos. Louis gets a lion tattoo on his right bicep, Emily gets a red rose tattoo on the side of her belly, just above her private part. The tattoo artists are using advanced tattooing devices. It only takes 2 or 5 minutes. Aquarium, Louis and Emily visit underwater creatures in their natural habitation, including sharks and killer whale. Malibu Beach Outdoor Cafe, Emily and Louis sit at the counter and have Tropicana fruit punches that have small umbrellas while talking. Cruise boat, sunset, Louis and Emily take a boat ride. They are in the far end of the boat, at the stern, walking while talking. Int. Rita restaurant, night. It's a romantic 5-star restaurant. Louis and Emily sit at a table enjoying seafood and glasses of wine. On the stage, a girl named Selena sings. Emily, what is your favorite quote? Louis, Shakespeare, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Emily, that is not a quote. It's a sonnet. Louis, in that case, I don't really have a favorite quote. I will just have to invent my own quote. He looks at her. Yes. Emily, what is going to be? Louis, when a man sees a beautiful girl, he should never take his eyes off her. He might not live another day without his soul. She smiles in beauty. Emily, what does that mean? Louis, it means, a man can't live without his soul. Emily, that is something. Louis, what's your favorite quote? Emily, besides all the romantic quotes. I like you need chaos in your soul to give birth to a dancing star by Friedrich Nietzsche. It is chaos what causes the universe to expand, the sun burn hydrogen, stars glow in the night, and makes everything happens. But sometimes, ironically, I wonder order and chaos make any different. Human brain is so fragile. I am beginning to doubt its durability. Louis, there is a quote by Scott Peck. He said, the truth is that our finest moments are most likely to occur when we are feeling deeply uncomfortable, unhappy, or unfulfilled. For it is only in such moments, propelled by our discomfort, that we are likely to step out of our ruts and start searching for different ways or truer answers. Yet I notice a lot of things have changed. The technology is crazy. I would have never thought in a million years they would make a video that shows dreams. Emily, that doesn't mean anything. Take for example dinosaurs, they had been around for 230 million years, compared to human who just arrived 2.5 million of years ago. But in the end, they extinct. The way I see it, all things come to an end. Louis, you don't really believe that, do you? Emily, no, I don't. But sometimes, I think the gods have seen it all. First, they started the universe with the Big Bang, followed by the formation of the stars and planets. They then let those monster Tyrannosaurus, Allosaurus, Dinosaurs, giant birds, and lizards rule the world before they decided to wipe them away. They sent asteroids and killed most of them. Humans might face the same fate as dinosaurs if they don't act accordingly. Louis, what do you mean by accordingly? Emily, the gods are looking for excuses to get rid of us from the face of the earth, not because of we are as tyrant as T-Rex, or as atrocious as Allosaurus. It's because they are gods. They do whatever the fuck they want to do, so we can't give them any excuse. We have to keep impress them every chance we get, create a peaceful environment, get as much works as possibility and find humans next home somewhere in the space. If we stay on Earth, they will wipe us out. They don't even wait for the sun to burn all its hydrogen and consume the Earth. Louis smiles softly. Louis, suppose God get rid of humanity. Who will take our places? Emily, humorously maybe, the angels in heaven. Louis smiles charismatically. Louis, I doubt it. God has already reached his peak. This is it. I've never met anyone as luscious as thee. I know it sounds a little bit sentimental, but you are his testimony, light that exists without a shadow. Emily, what do you mean by light that exists without a shadow? Louis, humorously true love. Emily, I know you are a writer. But is that what you think I am, true love? Louis, Carl Jung once said, where there is light, there must be shadow, and where there is shadow there must be light. There is no shadow without light and no light without shadow. But I think you are beyond, an endearing photon that flaps like a butterfly, a sparkling dandelion floating in the garden of eternal sunshine and endless love, a teardrop falling at the bottom of my heart while caught on fire, and turns into a star that shines in the darkest part of my soul without creating silhouette, but disguised as a snowflake that sparkles like diamond in the sun. Till it turns into your image, your beautiful face. It changes to a rose that is covered with dew. It then turns into you, without a single drop of cloth, but wings that consist of 2 rose petals, floating in my quintessence. And spell drops in my belly disguised as a rouge lotus. I can't separate true love from stomach pain. And stomach pain from true love. Emily smiles in beauty. Emily, humorously whatever. Emily grabs her wine, and takes a sip. She thinks he is a writer. He just said that to impress her. Emily, I knew you were romantic. But I didn't know you were that romantic. I like a teardrop caught on fire and falling in your heart and shining like a diamond on the sun. Louis, looking at her eyes, I can only blame your eyes. She can't help falling in love with him. There is a beautiful smile on her face. On the stage, Selena continues to sing. Louis and Emily continue to talk, but we don't hear what they are saying due to the music. Then on the soundtrack, new music comes. EXT/int. Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, night. Louis, who is in the passenger seat, and Emily, who is in the driver's seat, drive in the city of Los Angeles. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. EXT Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, night. An established shot of Emily's Lamborghini convertible with Louis and Emily as they continue to drive in the city of Los Angeles. We then take it with overhead shot looking down the city of Los Angeles in the year 2150. EXT University of Hollywood, Freud Neurology Center, night. Dr. Mason walks up and down in front of the building while smoking. Right down the building, we see a man named Wesley standing next to a black limousine. EXT Freud Neurology Center, Emily's Lamborghini convertible, night. Louis and Emily come driving and park the car across to the main building. They get out of the car and begin to walk toward the institution. Dr. Mason looks at them with a little bit contempt. Dr. Mason, to Emily, where did you go? Emily, we were just hanging out in Malibu. Dr. Mason, you were supposed to return 4 hours ago. What happened? Emily, under her breath, we were just. She doesn't have anything to add. Louis, it's my fault, Doc. She told me that we had to return. But I convinced her to have dinner, just catching up with future. Dr. Mason, it's okay. Meet Wesley. He'll be your personal chauffeur. We just found out you're a wealth man. IRS checked your royalty from your book sales. The government had been keeping your money while you were frozen, including films made from your novels. But since you were found innocent, they decided to return all your money. Starting tonight, you're going to live in Sheraton Hotel in Long Beach, till we find you a decent house. I know the manager. They have already booked it for you. Louis nods, sure. Dr. Mason gives Wesley a sign to take Louis to his hotel. Wesley opens the limo door for Louis. Dr. Mason, I'll see you tomorrow. Louis, take care. Louis turns to Emily. Louis, thanks for everything. I had a great time. Louis and Emily kiss on the cheeks. Louis, good night. Emily, bye. Louis enters into the limo. Wesley closes the door, walks around the car, gets behind the wheel, and starts the car. The limo drives away. Dr. Mason and Emily look at each other. Dr. Mason, just go home. I'll see you tomorrow. Emily nods, bye. She walks up to her car, opens the door, gets behind the wheel, and starts her car and drives away. Dr. Mason climbs the steps, swaps his card at the door, opens the door and enters into the building. We take it with overhead shoot. Montage, the city of Los Angeles in the night. We see the interesting part of Los Angeles in 2150. London, Barcelona, Paris, and Rome put together. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Louis's suite, night. It's a 5-star luxurious suite. Louis opens the door and walks in. He comes to his private bar, grabs a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label, and pours it in the glass. Louis takes the scotch, and walks toward the bedroom. Main bedroom. Louis enters, looks at the bedroom, comes up to the closet and opens the closet's door. We see all kinds of stylish clothes and shoes. Louis takes a sip from his scotch, turns around, and walks into the living room. Main living room. Louis walks across the living room and exits through the glass doors, to the porch. EXT Sheraton Hotel, Louis's room, porch, night. Louis stands next to the frame and looks at the city of Los Angeles in the night, taking sips. It's absolutely dazzling. Int. Church, day. Emily and a man named Matthew Stewart, 35, are in the middle of getting married. A priest weds them. On the soundtrack, music plays. At the entrance, Louis walks in with a gun. Louis walks down the aisles, lifts his hand, and shoots the groom between his eyes. The groom falls and dies. Louis shoots 2 Secret Services who are standing by the chapel. The Secret Services fall and die. Louis shoots the priest. The priest dies at the spot. Louis walks up to Emily, takes her hand. Louis and Emily walk toward the exit while Louis shooting people who are trying to stop him. He then picks her up. She puts her arms around him. They kiss French as he heads toward the exit, carrying her. It feels like music video. EXT Church, day. Louis, who is carrying Emily, and Emily, who is putting her arms around him, exit the church joining lips to lips, cross the street, and come up to Louis's 2150 Mercedes convertible. Louis's 2150 Mercedes convertible, Louis places Emily in the passenger seat. He walks around the car, gets behind the wheel, starts the car. Louis and Emily drive down the street. Int. Louis's 2150 Mercedes convertible, moving, day. Emily gets up, comes up to Louis, sits on his lap, and they kiss as they continue to drive. EXT Louis's 2150 Mercedes convertible, moving, day. Medium shot of Louis and Emily kissing while driving. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. Then, out of nowhere come 2 police cars blurring their siren and flashing their light and begin to follow them. Louis's Mercedes convertible, moving. Louis, who is carrying Emily on his lap, looks at the cops in his rearview mirror and steps on the gas, passing one car after another, like a natural-born Formula 1 car racer. It is sexy and spectacular. Police cars, the cops continue to follow them. In the meantime, out of nowhere appear more police cars and follow Louis and Emily who are flying like spacecraft caught on fire. An established shot of Lewis's Mercedes convertible and police cars driving in the street of Los Angeles. Lewis's Mercedes convertible, moving. Lewis and Emily then teleport through the thin air and come to the Pacific Ocean. EXT Pacific Ocean, Lewis's Mercedes convertible, floating, day. Lewis's Mercedes floats on the ocean. It's car/motorboat. Emily, who remains on Lewis's lap, looks at the ocean in amazement. Emily, where are we? Lewis, I think we are on Pacific Ocean. Emily continues to look around. Emily, seductively by his lips, how did you do it? Lewis, softly by her lips, magic. Lewis and Emily kiss as they cruise down the Pacific Ocean. Close up, Lewis and Emily. They kiss more passionately. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Lewis's room, bedroom, morning. Lewis opens his eyes. It was only a dream. Lewis gets up and walks toward the bathroom. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Lewis's room, bathroom, morning. Lewis washes his face and gazes at his image through the mirror. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Lewis's room, showroom, morning. Lewis takes a hot shower. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Lewis's room, bedroom, morning. Lewis, wearing a futuristic outfit, stands in front of the mirror. He makes sure he looks good. He then turns around and walks towards the camera. Int. Sheraton Hotel, elevator, moving down, day. Lewis stands in the elevator. We see a young couple standing in the corner and kissing. We don't know what to make of the kiss. It's sensual, innovative, and very futuristic. They take French kiss to the next level. Lewis takes a glance and looks at them in wonder for a second. The girl catches his eyes and gives him a seductive look as she continues to kiss her boyfriend despite the fact the nature of the kiss. It is explicit. He quickly turns his eyes in embarrassment, and looks at the elevator door, which happens to have mirrors. Lewis sees the girl. Yet, he tries his best to look away. Lewis couldn't help it, takes another glance, and looks at them through the mirror as they continue to kiss. The girl catches his eyes again, and gives him a wink. Lewis smiles softly, and looks away. The elevator doors open at the lobby. Int. Sheraton Hotel, lobby, day. Lewis exits the elevator, walks down the lobby. EXT Sheraton Hotel, day. An established shot of Sheraton Hotel. It's a 100-story 5-star hotel. We see Wesley standing next to the limo. Lewis exits from the hotel and walks toward the limo. Wesley opens the door for Lewis. Lewis comes up to the limo. Lewis, do you mind if I sit in the passenger seat? Wesley, not at all. Wesley closes the back door and opens the passenger door. Lewis, referring to the passenger door, I got it. Lewis enters in the passenger seat and closes the door. Wesley walks around the car and gets behind the wheel, starts the limo, and they drive away. Int. Limo, moving, day. Lewis looks through the window, another beautiful part of Los Angeles in the year 2150. Lewis, this is Los Angeles 2150? Wesley nods, yes. For him, it's LA 2150 forever. He's 30. He's been driving limo for 10 years. There are not a lot of noticeable change, compares to Lewis who had been frozen for 100 years. Lewis, how long have you been in the job? Wesley, all my golden years, about 10 years. A beat, I started out driving taxi 18 while attending at Santa Monica Community College. I then got into an accident, quit school, and started driving limo to make ends meet. Lewis says nothing. Wesley, I know what you're thinking. It sucks to be a chauffeur and driving a limousine. You know, giving ride to the rich and the famous when you could be in their shoes and do something substantial with your life. You feel me? Lewis, you do what you have to do. You would never know where life will take you. You just have to keep your head up, and go after what you want. Wesley, it's true. But life likes to keep you guessing. When you ask for tangerine, it gives you lemon, when you ask for lemon and tea, it gives you salt and tequila, and see you get wasted like a Mexican jumping bean. Lewis can't help smiling. On the soundtrack, music comes. Wesley and Lewis continue to talk. We don't hear what they say due to the music. EXT limo, moving, day. An establishing shot of the limo as it continues to drive in the city of Los Angeles. Int. Freud Neurology Center, research room, day. Dr. Mason stands in front of the TVs, reviewing Lewis's previous dream. Lewis sits at a table looking at his dreams in multiple screens. On the screens, we see Lewis and Mia making love. Dr. Mason pauses the video. Dr. Mason, who is this girl? Is it your mistress who testified for the defense? Lewis, does it matter? I thought it was only a dream. Dr. Mason, it is a dream. But dream says a lot of things about your neuron connection. Lewis, what neuron connection? Dr. Mason, your personality, how neurotransmitters send chemical messages. And how information is processed in subconscious mind. That's what we do here. Study the brain, how the mind works. Off Lewis's look. You see your brain gather information through the sensory agents, touch, sight, taste, hearing, smell, and intuition, which is the sixth sense. Your conscious then processes the information and sort them out into a desirable result. A health brain has a keen decision-making ability. It knows what's good and what's bad. It's capable of telling the difference between right and wrong. But that is tributary. The fact is when we dream, all our dreams take place in hidden universes. They are as real as they can get. EXT Freud Neurology Center, Dream Room, Day. Lewis sits in the ADI chair, Advanced Dream Interpret chair. Dr. Keaton, Serena, gives Lewis 2 pills and a glass of water. Lewis takes the pills, places them in his mouth and downs them with the glass of water. He returns the glass back Serena. The ADIC then slide backward. Next, the SVRT, Supervisual Resonance Tomography, scans Lewis's brain and sends bright light in his brain. EXT Desert, Day. It's beautiful desert. Lewis, who is wearing a white suit, walks in the middle of the desert, carrying a bottle of water. There is nothing but endless white gold and sparkling sands. He stops, takes a sip, and looks a red lotus on the sand, 2 feet from where he stands. Lewis throws the bottle away and picks up the lotus. He then sees Emily, who is sitting under a futuristic tent at the oasis like Cleopatra, queen of the desert. Desert, oasis. Emily, who is wearing a beautiful red gown, drinks a red wine while patting a wild cheetah. 4 muscular guys, her bodyguards, who are wearing ultra-modern sliver muscle shirts, stand by making sure that she is safe. Lewis walks up to her and stands in front of her. Lewis, hi. Emily, hi. Lewis, what am I doing here in the middle of the desert? Emily puts the wine aside, gets up, and walks up to him. Emily, if I tell you that you have a deep sense of the obvious, would you quench my thirst, or are you going to keep guessing? Lewis says nothing. Emily gives him a delicious kiss. Emily, seductively down by his lips. I see the way you look at me. I can feel it inside, between my legs. They kiss. Lewis drops the lotus. Close up, Lewis and Emily. They kiss more intimately. All of a sudden, the desert changes into snow, Antarctica in a parallel universe. EXT Antarctica, parallel universe, pool, day. Lewis and Emily part their lips. There is a pool in the middle of the snow filled with rose petals. Emily walks toward the pool, takes off her cloth, enters into the water, nude, and sits inside. Then out of the thin air appears a man, servant, carrying a glass of Martin on a tray. The servant walks up to Emily and gives her the Martin. Emily takes the martini. The servant turns around, walks through the thin air, and disappears. Emily takes a sip and puts it aside. Emily, to Lewis, join me. Lewis takes off his cloth and walks toward the pool in short. When he is about to enter. Emily, take off your short. Lewis drops off his short and enters into the water. Emily approaches him. Lewis and Emily kiss. He picks her up, gets her against the pool, caresses her neck. They kiss more passionately and begin to make love in the pool. Then, with artistic camera work, we come to a luxurious house. Int. Luxurious house, bedroom, night. Lewis and Emily continue to make love surrounded by candles. A mystical wind gusts in the air and blows away the candles. At the same time, the bed sets on fire supernaturally. Artistic takes of Lewis and Emily as they continue to make love in the fire. Lewis and Emily reach climax. Lewis closes his eyes and comes inside her. EXT Paris, restaurant, pop, sunset. Lewis opens his eyes and finds himself sitting at outside cafe with a glass of wine. The restaurant is located across the Eiffel Tower. On the table, we see French Vogue with the picture of Emily on the cover. Lewis grabs his wine, takes a sip, puts it back, and looks at the magazine. Emily winks at him. Lewis thinks his brain plays tricks on him. Lewis then sees a girl, who looks exactly like Emily, crossing the main street. It could be Emily herself. She crosses the street and walks down the sidewalk. He gets up, and begins to follow her. Medium shot of Lewis following Emily, who continues to walk down the sidewalk. Emily enters into an erotic house. Lewis follows her. Int. Erotic house, sunset. It's a larger-than-life erotic house. We see all kinds of bizarre sexual fantasy shows, bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, sadism and masochism, and others, men and women wearing leather and ultra-modern sex outfits, making out with kisses, having sex, playing sex games in cages involving restraint and sensory stimulation, bathing in pools that are filled with black liquid substance, etc. It's like the devil realm, 10 Playboy mansions put together, as if Satan took over heaven and turned the place into erotic extravaganza. We haven't seen anything like this in the history of cinema. On the soundtrack, French erotic song plays. Lewis walks through one showroom after another in these lascivious racy places. He then finds Emily at one of those erotic fantasy rooms. She is wearing a fishnet and S&M erotic leather outfit that reveal her breasts, the majority of her skin and her private part. 4 muscular guys, who are wearing S&M erotic leather outfit and carrying chains and whips, approach her. They begin to touch her in erotica, including her private part. They kiss and caress her. She kisses one. She parts her lips and kisses another. Emily then begin to make erotic love with them in sadism and masochism as Lewis watches. Then, wearing S&M erotic outfits, 2 attractive girls come behind Lewis, who is wondering what this place is. Lewis looks at them. Girl 1, come with us. Girl 2 takes his arm as they escort him through the sex extravaganza. Then, mysteriously, everything around Lewis changes from lecherous into bright and heavenly. We find Lewis and the 2 girls in a palace. Int. Palace, day. It looks like Winter Palace. The girls' outfits change into white. They look like angels. The two girls, Marta and Loretta, continue to escort Louis. Louis, Marta, and Loretta walk down the hallway and come to the main living room. Main living room. Louis, Marta, and Loretta climb the staircase and head toward the main bedroom. Main bedroom. Rachel, who is lying on the bed upside down while doing cocaine, looks at Louis, Marta, and Loretta as they enter. Rachel, to Louis, hi. Louis says nothing. She then turns around, puts the cocaine aside, sits on the edge of the bed, and gives Marta and Loretta a sign to leave. Marta and Loretta leave. Rachel, who is not wearing underwear, opens her legs revealing her vagina, and looks at Louis with seduction. Louis doesn't say anything. He just looks at her. Rachel, what are you waiting for? Louis walks by her, exits through the glass doors, and stands in the porch. EXT beach, palace, porch, day. The palace is built next to a galvanizing Tropicana beach. Louis looks at the ocean. Rachel comes up to the porch and stands next Louis. Rachel, why do you hate me? Louis, I don't hate you. As a matter of fact, I adore you. There is a pause. Rachel then. Rachel, I don't believe you. Louis, there is not a single day that has passed without me thinking of you. Sometime, I think it is a disease. My heart reminds me of your face. I just can't help it. There is a silent moment. She then. Rachel, gets closer to his lips. Why can't I figure you out? Louis, there is nothing to figure out. I have your love. You had my heart. I just didn't know what to do with it, and let you down. Louis sees Emily who is sitting in the beach. Louis gives Rachel a soft kiss on the lips. Louis, I must go. Louis turns around and goes back to the house. Rachel looks at Emily with envy. EXT beach, day. Louis walks up to Emily who is looking at the ocean while smoking cigarette. Emily turns her eyes, and looks at him. Emily, hi. Louis, hi. Louis sits next to her. She takes a drag from her cigarette, exhales out the smoke, and offers him the cigarette. Louis, it is okay. Thanks. Emily crashes the cigarette on the sand. There is a silent moment. They look at the waves on the ocean. She then. Emily, so, what is it? Tell me anything. Tell me a poem, or a sweet lie. Louis, I wish I could tell you a lie. But every time I meet a beautiful girl, I tell them everything that is in my heart. I always end up getting hurt. I then tell myself, why don't you lie just once? But the innocent in me thinks that if I tell a lie, my heart will punish me. Emily smiles in beauty and lies on her back. Emily, do you know who said, don't bend, don't water it down, don't try to make it logical, don't edit your own soul according to the fashion. Rather, follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Louis, Franz Kafka. Emily, so, kiss me as if your life depends on it. Louis gets closer and kisses her as if his life depends on it. Emily puts her arms around Louis and kisses him with tongue. On the soundtrack, music comes. In the meantime, it begins to rain. Close up, Louis and Emily. Louis and Emily kiss more passionately. Int. Cottage, bedroom, day. Louis and Emily make love. It is raining outside. The cottage roof is leaking water. We see rain dropping on Louis and Emily. It is a steamy sex. Louis is destroying it. Emily is dying with sexual passion. It's in your face sex, looks like they are doing it for real. Emily is about to be extinct with intense sexual pleasure. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, day. 52 neurologists and scientists, Serena and Dr. Mason, analyze Louis's dream as Louis and Emily continue to go at it. TV screens, we see Louis and Emily making love in the multiple screens. Each screen shows Louis and Emily having sex with different sexual positions, in quantum reality. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Dream Room, day. Louis sits in a DIC and continues to dream. Int. Cottage, bedroom, day. Louis and Emily continue to make love. We see the bed smoking from evaporation. Then. Louis and Emily reach climax. EXT supermarket, day. Louis is in the middle of shopping. He puts everything in his shopping cart, eggs, milk, orange juice, cereal, etc. Louis then sees a girl named Jennifer, 24, who is checking him out while pretending to be shopping. Louis gives her a charismatic smile. She returns his smile and continues to shop, so does Louis. He grabs a bag of apples and places it in shopping cart. Louis looks at Jennifer who is placing lettuce and tomato in her shopping cart. She turns her eyes and looks at him again. Louis gives her a wink. Jennifer returns his wink. EXT Louis's beach house, night. An established shot of Louis's new beach house. It's a seductive 3-bedroom dwelling right next to the Pacific Ocean. Int. Louis's beach house, kitchen, night. Louis and Jennifer cook, chicken tamale casserole, Caesar salad, and pasta. Jennifer is wearing Louis's white shirts and a flirtatious purple Victoria's Secret underwear. Louis is shirtless. On the soundtrack, music plays. We stay with them for a bit as they continue to cook while conversing without a sound. Int. Vanity restaurant, night. It's a splendid 5-star restaurant. We see the city of Los Angeles through the glass window. Emily and her so-called husband Matthew Stewart, CEO of Robotech, sit at the table, having expensive dinner, oysters and lobsters for Matthew, shrimp salad for Emily, with glasses of cognac. Matthew, robots are the future. We are closer than ever to make the first robot that thinks for itself. Emily has barely touched her food and seemed to be done eating. Emily, sarcastically, it is not going to make any difference. They will eventually rise consciousness on their own term, and take over the world. Matthew takes a sip from his cognac and puts down his drink. Matthew, anyway, who is the guy that you are hanging out with? Emily, it's only a study. He has been frozen for 100 years. They just brought him back for experiment. Emily grabs her cognac and takes a sip. Int. Lewis's beach house, night. Lewis and Jennifer sit at the dinner table enjoying their chicken tamale casserole, Caesar salad, and pasta with glasses of wine. Jennifer, what do you do? Lewis, I was a writer. They accused me for killing my wife wrongfully. The judge sentenced me to be frozen alive. They just brought me back for experiment. As a matter of fact, I am 100 plus years older than you. Jennifer, humorously, I don't believe you. Lewis smiles softly. Lewis, humorously, why is that? Jennifer, you seem super romantic. Lewis, that is beyond my control. Jennifer smiles softly. They continue to eat. She then. Jennifer, what genre do you write? Lewis, I write romance, adventure, mystery, psychological and erotic thriller. But I was working on a new genre, you know, exploiting parallel universes, hidden dimensions, and quantum theory before they frozen me for a crime that I didn't commit. She says nothing. There is a silent moment. They continue to eat and drink. She then. Jennifer, are you really from the past? Lewis, humorously, you don't believe me? Jennifer, I had never met anyone from the past. It's fascinating to sit with someone, who had been frozen for a century, and see their point of view in life. It's sweet. Lewis, I don't know if it's sweet to be placed in the refrigerator for a century. But my point of view in life is. Quoting William Blake, to see a world in a grain of sand. And a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Jennifer, that is something. Lewis, humorously, it's William Blake who said that. But I must warn you. I bite viciously. Jennifer, I like guys who bite viciously. I can live with the scar. I just don't trust a man who gives you heartache. I'm not very good at making things complicated. Lewis smiles softly. Int. Lewis's house, bedroom, night. Lewis and Jennifer enter into the bedroom kissing passionately. They remove each other's clothes. They fall on the bed. They kiss and begin to make love. Int. Vanity restaurant, night. Back to Emily and Matthew. Matthew, are you thrilled with Mr. Blue Lotus? Emily, what do you mean thrilled? Matthew, are you attracted to him? Emily, no, I am not. Matthew, it's okay. You can tell me the truth. I am not going to hold it against you. Emily, I don't care whether you hold it against me or not. We have a professional relationship. That is all. Matthew, he is a good-looking man. If I were you, I'd have fallen in love with him by now. Emily, depend on what you mean by good-looking. Some people can be good-looking. But that doesn't necessarily mean they are intelligent. Matthew, I think he seems pretty smart. He had written few interesting books, including Blue Lotus, one of the greatest quantum thriller novels of all time. I would go further and say that he is genius, despite the fact he had skipped a generation. Emily, don't forget he is a poet too. Matthew, that is right. Girls love a poet. Emily, I am curious. Why are we talking about him? I thought we are here to talk about us and work out difference. Matthew, yes, we are talking about us and working out our differences. But I thought you would be grateful if I brought the object of your affection. You seem to be into him. Matthew opens a file and shows picture of Lewis and Emily taken by a private investigator. Emily, what is this? Matthew, photos taken by a private investigator. Emily seems to be in love and happy. The photos give her away. We see photos of Emily holding Lewis's arm, standing lips to lips as if they wanted to kiss, etc. Emily, did you have me followed? Matthew, it's not me. It's my sister, Alexandria. She doesn't trust anybody. Emily, I don't know. I might be in love with him. I think we should take time off and see how things works out. Matthew, whatever makes you happy. Emily gets up, takes out her ring from her finger, and places it on the table. Emily, I'll see you. Emily walks away. Matthew, bye. Matthew looks at her with no care in the world as she continues to walk toward the exit. Emily leaves the restaurant. Matthew looks at the ring on the table, grabs his cognac, takes a sip, and puts it back. Int. Lewis's beach house, bedroom, night. Lewis and Jennifer have done making love. They are sleeping. Jennifer rests on Lewis's chest. Lewis is wide awake. EXT Lewis's beach house, night. Emily's Lamborghini convertible. Emily comes driving and parked her car in front of Lewis's house, next to Jennifer's red Porsche convertible. Int. Lewis's beach house, bedroom, night. Lewis opens his eyes. EXT Lewis's beach house, night. Emily gets out of the Lamborghini, walks up to Lewis's house, and rings the bell. Int. Lewis's beach house, bedroom, night. Lewis hears the bell, slowly pulls his arm from Jennifer's head, who is sleeping from here to eternity. He gets up in short, puts on his pants, and heads toward the living room shirtless. Living room. Louis crosses the living room, comes to the gate, and opens the door revealing Emily. Emily, hi. Louis, hi. Emily, I just broke up with my unofficial husband. Can I come in? Louis, please. Louis opens the door too wide and lets her in jokingly. Emily smiles in beauty and walks in ease. Louis closes the door. Emily comes up to the living room and sits on the sofa. Louis walks up to the bar. Louis, what do you want to drink? Emily, what you got? Louis looks at the lists of alcohols he got. Louis, Crown Royal, Maker's Mark, Jameson, Yamazaki, Ballantine's, the famous Grouse, Chivas Regal, and Johnny Walker Diamond. Emily, I'll have Johnny Walker Diamond. Louis grabs Johnny Walker Diamond, and pours it in 2 separate glasses. He takes the glasses and comes up to Emily. Louis gives her the scotch. Emily takes the scotch. He sits on a small sofa. Louis, what happened? Emily takes a sip. Emily, he found out I had a feeling for you. Off Louis's look, I saw the video from your dreams. I couldn't stop thinking about you. I think I am falling head over heels in love with you without knowing it. Louis smiles softly. But he chooses to say nothing. Then. Jennifer comes up to the living room nude. Emily looks at her. Louis gets up from the sofa. There is big awkward moment. However, Louis quickly picks up the vibe. Louis, this is Jennifer. To Jennifer, Emily. Jennifer, hi. Jennifer gives Emily her hand to shake. Emily, hi. Emily puts down her drinks on the coffee table, gets up and takes Jennifer's hand greeting. Louis, to Jennifer, Emily is my psychiatrist. She is helping me adjusting the future. Jennifer, it's okay. You don't have to lie to me. I just heard her saying she was falling head over heels in love with you. I'll leave you alone. Let me put on my clothes. I have to get back to my husband. Jennifer returns to the bedroom. Emily looks at Louis. Emily, I didn't know you had a company. I think I am the one who should leave. Emily walks toward the exit. Louis quickly holds her arms. Louis, please don't go. I need you. Emily, why do you need me for? You've already got a naked girl in the house. What don't you convince her to stay, Mr. Sex Machine? Louis, it's not what you think. Emily, it doesn't matter what I think. A beat, I know you are ladies' man. And I am not a jealous type. That leave us even. I wish you the best, bye. She moves closer to the door. Louis holds her arm. Louis, wait. She is leaving. Let's forget that she was here in the first place and start new. Emily says nothing. On the soundtrack, music plays soulfully. Louis and Emily gaze at each other eyes intimately. She cuddles and kisses him passionately. He holds close to his heart, kisses her deliciously. Close up, Louis and Emily. They kiss more French. EXT Louis's beach house, night. Jennifer exits the house, comes to her Porsche convertible, gets behind the wheel, starts the car, reverse out and drives away. Int. Louis's beach house, night. Louis and Emily sit at the dinner table drinking scotch. Emily smokes cigarette. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. There is a silent moment. She then. Emily, what was it 100 years ago? Louis, it was beautiful. Good music. Good weather. That's all I remember. Emily, what do you miss the most? Louis, I don't know. I am busy adjusting to the future. I don't really think about the past anymore. Emily crashes her cigarette on the ashtray. Emily, the future can't be justified without the past. The past is what gives rise to the future. Louis, are you sure? Emily, I am positive. Mickey smiles softly. There is another silent moment. They gaze at each other's eyes as if they want to make love from here to eternity. The music plays a little bit louder. He then. Louis, would you like to dance? Louis gives her his hand to dance. Emily takes his hand. They get up, come to the open floor, and begin to dance slow. Close up, Emily and Louis, dancing slow. Note, they are talking between soft kisses. Emily, softly down by his lips. Do you believe heart is not measured by how much you love, but how much you are loved by others? Louis, humorously down by her lips. The heart can only be measured by how much we love. How other love us is beyond our control. She smiles in beauty. They exchange soft kisses. Emily, sweetly down by his lips. I think I'm already addicted to you. They kiss French as if their lips and tongues are made of each other hearts, essences, and souls. Louis's beach house, bedroom, night. Louis and Emily make love. It is sensual, steamy, seductive, and passionate. We stay with them with series cuts as they go at it with various sexual positions as if sex were invented for them. Louis's beach house, bathroom, night. Louis and Emily sit in the bathtub. Emily rests on Louis's chest with closed eyes. Louis is behind, reciting Christopher Brennan's Because She Would Ask Me Why I Loved Her from memory. Louis, softly by her neck. If questioning would make us wise. No eyes would ever gaze in eyes. If all our tale were told in speech. No mouths would wander each to each. Were spirits free from mortal mesh. And love not bound in hearts of flesh. No aching breasts would yearn to meet. And find their ecstasy complete. For who is there that lives and knows the secret powers by which he grows? Were knowledge all, what were our need? To thrill and faint and sweetly bleed? Then seek not, sweet, they've and why. I love you now until I die. For I must love because I live. And life in me is what you give. He kisses her on the shoulder. There is a silent moment. She then. Emily, with closed eyes. Louis. Louis, what is it, dream love? Louis kisses her on the shoulder. Emily, with closed eyes. You broke my heart. I didn't expect to find you with another girl. Louis, humorously. I thought you were with your half-husband, half-boyfriend. I didn't want to come between you and him. It is not my style. He kisses her on the shoulder. Emily opens her eyes. Emily, that is a good excuse, but it doesn't justify that you slept with a married woman. Louis, she is lying. She is not married. Emily, is that supposed to make me feel good? Louis, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Louis kisses her on the cheek. Emily, it's okay. I am not mad at you. Louis, humorously. How come? Emily, I read your books. You are exceptionally sensual, except the last one. Blue Lotus. It's kind of dark. Louis, I wanted to write something original. The idea came out of the blue. I mean, I was watching the Science Channel. They were talking about quantum theory and how a particle could be multiple places at same time. I thought if I just wrote a story about a guy who could be two simultaneously. Yet, his copy would end up killing his wife for allegedly having an affair with another man without the knowledge of the main character. You know, like split personality. But I didn't know I'd end up being accused for the murder of my wife. Emily, I think the secret society that killed your wife. Louis, what secret society? Emily, Illuminati. Think about it. She was an undercover report, working secretly to expose the Illuminati, sex slaves, orgy, and satanic ritual. Somehow, they found out, killed her, and blamed it on you. This audio file was created by Panopreter Basic. You can download it at www.panopreter.com. Louis, surprised. How did you know that? Emily, I did a research on everything that you and she did. The Illuminati still exists to this days. They are operating underground. You know, history has shown us most Illuminati have always been powerful people. They killed her and covered it up. Louis, it's possible. Emily, we can gather all the facts and publish a new book in 2 weeks. Louis, what 2 weeks? Emily, I forgot you have been frozen for 100 years. Time has changed. If you want to publish a book, you could do it in 1 day. Everything is digital. You don't even have to type a single word. There is a software that recognizes your voice and type the words for you. Louis, that is something. But I doubt it if it is going to make any difference. The people, who are responsible for her death, have been dead for years. Emily, still people must know the truth. Imagine if Robert Perry accused of killing his wife. Will history see him as one of the most influential person in the history? Louis, who is Robert Perry? Emily, he is the first person to walk on Mars 2116. Louis, humorously, that's what happens when they keep you in the refrigerator for a century. A guy named Robert Perry walks on Mars. He kisses her on the shoulder. Emily, anyhow, that's a bad example. Let me think, who is the most influential person of all time? Louis, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammadan, Albert Einstein, and Isaac Newton. Emily, humorously, okay. Let's pick Jesus. He died for our sin. There is also a rumor that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene. Let's go back 2150 years. Suppose Jesus was wrongfully accused for killing Mary Magdalene, and sentenced to be frozen for centuries. They then brought him back for experiment. Don't you think people want to know the Son of God is innocent? Louis smiles softly and plants a soft kiss on her shoulder. Louis, they already told I am innocent. I only have to participate in one experiment. Emily, that's not fair. Louis, life is not fair. Emily, you have to fight to get control of your life. Or you lose everything you have. Louis, I will take your advice. But, I am not Jesus Christ. Emily, you are the most romantic man ever. That's all it matters. Louis smiles softly. They kiss French. Int. Bedroom, night. Louis and Emily make love. It's steamy, alluring, and passionate. We stay with them for a bit. Montage. Hollywood, Louis and Emily, who is wearing an enticing red dress, take a walk in the street of Hollywood. We see the statue of Tom Cruise, Top Gun, Maverick standing next to the F-14A Tomcat, in the middle of the street. Louis looks at it as they cross the street. Lucas Roberts Show, erotic holograph presentation of Lucas Roberts. Louis and Emily look at nude sensual holograph of supermodels in series cuts, montage within montage. Fast food restaurant, Louis and Emily come to a fast food restaurant called Starlet. It's like Quiznos fast food restaurant. It's built in middle of the street, or think of McDonald's without a roof, window, a wall, and a door. Louis looks at it as they order food, wondering, what are they going to do when it rains? The chef makes their foods in front of them, and hands them their foods less than 3 minutes. They both want to pay. Yet, Louis insists of paying. But Emily pays for the food before Louis pays them as he reaches for his wallet. Nonetheless, he takes out $100 and gives the clerk a tip. Louis and Emily walk away with their meals. Water fountain. Louis and Emily cross the street carrying their foods and sodas, come to a water fountain that has the statue of Madonna, the singer, sit on the fountain and eat while conversing. It seems Louis doesn't like how the food tastes. Supermarket. Louis and Emily shop. They put everything in the shopping cart. Louis's beach house. Louis and Emily cook seafoods. Emily is wearing a football jersey, number 10, that has the name Louis and Victoria's Secret underwear. Louis is shirtless. Louis tells her something. She smiles in beauty. They talk between soft kisses. Louis picks her up and places her on the kitchen table. He removes her underwear. They kiss French and begin to make love. Movie theater. Wearing 3D sunglasses, Louis and Emily watch movie Blue Lotus adapted from Louis's novel starring an actress named Vivian and an actor named Leonardo. They are about 40 audiences. It's holograph/3D/virtual reality as if the stars are interacting with the audiences. Louis seems to enjoy the movie, but Emily has a different idea. She gets closer and kisses him on the lips. Louis and Emma kiss. She then gets up and sits on his lap. Emily and Louis kiss more intimately. The audiences look at them in confusion, wondering if they come out of the screen too. Louis's beach house. Night. Louis sits at the dinner table working on a new novel, Rouge Lotus, in the middle of the night. Then comes Emily, wearing only a seductive red Victoria's Secret underwear, sits on Louis's lap and read what he wrote. It must be romantic. She smiles in beauty, puts her arms around him. They talk between soft kisses. She then tells him to make love to her. They kiss French. He then grabs her buttocks, and places her on the table, removes her underwear. He removes all his clothes, get between her legs. They kiss more intimately. He then grabs her butt, picks her up, and enters her as they begin to make love. We stay with them for a bit. Pacific Ocean. Louis's boat. Louis and Emily sail in Louis's new multimillion-dollar boat. They talk between soft kiss as they continue to sail. They then kiss French. Pacific Ocean. Sunset. Louis and Emily swim in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They get closer and kiss French. Int. Louis's beach house. Bedroom. Night. Louis and Emily make love. It is sensual, enchanting, and passionate. We stay with them with series cuts as they go at it with various sexual positions. Int. Dr. Price Quantum Show, Day. It's quantum mechanics exhibit hosted by physicist Dr. Price. He is Emily's uncle. We see all kinds of quantum mechanics presentation, videos that show 3D particles in quantum state, virtual reality male and female models moving everywhere, stars, galaxies, universe, multiverse, computer generation holographs of Dr. Price talking about quantum theory, hidden dimensions, time, and multiverse, and doing all kinds of quantum mechanics tricks, like walking through the wall and popping out of the thin air, twins and triplet Japanese, who dress futuristic clothes, serving the guests champagnes, etc. Louis and Emily look at the display in awe. Emily, do you know Albert Einstein's space-time curvature is the biggest blunder in the history of physics? Louis, what do you mean? Emily, Einstein theory explained gravity and space-time continuum. The Earth moves around the Sun, because it falls on space-time curvature that is caused by the presence of the Sun. If you remove the Sun, the Earth will travel at the speed of light into the void till another curvature grabs a hold of it. But what Einstein didn't know is all matter are governed by uncertainty principle. Even if you remove the Sun, the Earth might appear to be moving against gravitational curvature that was created by the Sun. But, at the same time, it will also continue to move in circle without the Sun. The Sun is holograph. It has no effect on Earth. The Earth is holograph. The universe itself is holograph. Thus, everything in the universe is illusion. They are the projection of space and time. Louis, that is something. Emily, I read it from one of the books my uncle wrote. He talks about how we are holographs. Nothing really exists, everything is projection of time and space created by universal order of particles and antiparticle, and quantum perception. Louis, what does your uncle really do? Emily, he is an artist/astrophysicist. As a matter of fact, he is the leading quantum mechanics expert. He is close to finding hidden dimensions. Louis and Emily continue to look at these quantum parade. A holograph of a female model pops out of the thin air. She dances in exotic in front of Louis and Emily in hologram and disappears. Then another holograph of female model pops out of the thin air and turns into butterflies. The butterflies float in the air and disappear through the thin air. Louis, what about you? What did you study? Emily, I studied digital telepathy and clinical psychology. Louis, what's digital telepathy? Emily, it's basically telepathy. There is a satellite called Cassavetes that orbits the Earth, collects records each person's brainwave and transfer it into digital information. I decipher codes. Louis, example. Emily, suppose you are in Paris sitting at a cafe and thinking about your fictional girlfriend. Louis, what fictional girlfriend are we talking about? Is she as beautiful as you? Emily, just never mind fictional girlfriend. I'll be your real girlfriend. Louis, smiling, I can live live with that if not eternity. Emily, anyway, you are sitting at a table and thinking about me. I am in Los Angeles. You are in Paris. The Cassavetes gather each person brainwave and decode into quantum information. I sit behind a computer and decrypt the information. Lewis, how do you do that? Emily, telepathy. Lewis, what telepathy? Emily, the transmission of information using your mind, like psychokinesis. Off Lewis's look. You have to be patient. It requires a lot of focusing and training. That's why I took a break, and start working with Dr. Mason at the neurology department. Lewis says nothing. He thinks it's same thing, explaining how a computer operates to a person who lives in the 15th century where they used feathers and ink to write plays. They continue to look at quantum exhibits. On the soundtrack, music plays. Emily then looks at Dr. Price, who is talking to a young man named James Smith and a young woman named Erin Timothy. Dr. Price sees Emily, excuses James and Erin and walks up to Emily. Dr. Price and Emily hug and kiss on the cheeks. Emily introduces Lewis to Dr. Price. Dr. Price and Lewis shake hands, greeting. They converse, mingling. Dr. Price Quantum Show, later. Standing on the catwalk, Dr. Price addresses his quantum showcase to the gathering audiences. We see female and male models performing artistic and erotic dance, walking on the catwalk and posing. Hundreds of camera lights flash on the models. There are multiple big TV screens in the background that shows Dr. Price and the models, larger-than-life figures, walking on the catwalk and posing. Dance music can be heard playing. Lewis and Emily, who are standing in the back, watch the show while sipping champagnes. Dr. Price, once quantum mechanics was believed to be physical phenomena where the action was on the order of atomic and subatomic length scales. Our camera focus on the models as they continue to walk on the catwalk and pose while performing artistic and exotic dance. Dr. Price, off-screen, but quantum mechanics provides a scientific discipline description of much of the dual particle-like and wave-like behavior on larger objects like distant stars. We believe there are multiple universes that are governed by quantum principle right in front of us in hidden dimensions. Lewis and Emily take sips from their champagnes and begin to talk between soft kisses. On the soundtrack, dance music play with full volume. We continue to watch artistic takes of the models posing and performing erotic dance. Int. LA Club, night. It's a big dance club, 4 football put together. We see all kinds of sensual people, thousands, dancing like as if it were end of the century. Some of them are doing drugs and making out with kisses. Others are pouring whiskeys in each other while having sex like Studio 54 in grand scale, etc. It's luscious, lewd, seductive, and futuristic. There are professional dancers dancing naked inside metal cages surrounded by fire. There are also tigers, lions, panthers, leopards inside separate cages. Lewis and Emily dance in the middle of the sensual extravaganza. A medium shot of Emily and Lewis as they continue to dance. Close up, Emily and Lewis. They get closer and kiss with tongues lasciviously. Int. Lewis's beach house, bedroom, night. Lewis and Emily make love. It's seductive, alluring and enchanting. We see Emily in tremendous sexual passion as Lewis enters her soul. They are having one of the best sex in the modern cinema history. Int. Freud Neurology Center, dream room, night. Lewis sits in a DI chair dreaming. Int. Freud Neurology Center, research room, night. 52 neurologists and scientists, Dr. Keaton, Serena, and Dr. Mason analyze Lewis's dream. Screen 1, Lewis and Emily ride scooter in the street of Rome. Screen 2, Lewis and Emily walk in an aesthetic bridge in London while talking. Screen 3, Lewis and Emily sit outdoor cafe in Paris, talking and drinking wine. Screen 4, Lewis photographs Emily who is posing inside Cibel's water fountain in Madrid. Screen 5, Lewis and Emily kiss in the beach in Rio de Janeiro as the wave crashes on their bodies. Screen 6, Lewis and Emily take a walk in the city of Tokyo at night. Note, on the screens, we will see Lewis and Emily doing various things throughout the world. Screen 7, Lewis and Emily take a gondola ride in Venice. Screen 8, Lewis and Emily visit the pyramid in Giza, Egypt. Screen 9, we see Lewis and Emily kissing at the Great Wall in China. Screen 10, Lewis and Emily make love in Florence, etc. Int. Lewis's beach house, bedroom, night. Lewis and Emily continue to make love. Note, we'll see Lewis and Emily making love with series cuts. Int. Lewis's beach house, living room, night. Lewis and Emily are in the bathtub placed in the middle of the living room with hundreds of candles. Emily rests on Lewis's chest with closed eyes. Lewis is behind reciting For Beauty Being the Best of All We Know by Robert Bridges from his memory. Lewis, softly by her neck. For beauty being the best of all we know. Sums up the unsearchable and secret aims of nature, and on joys whose earthly names were never told can form and sense bestow. And man has sped his instinct to outgo the step of science, and against her shames imagination stakes out heavenly claims, building a tower above the head of woe. Nor is there fairer work for beauty found than that she win in nature her release from all the woes that in the world abound. Nay, with his sorrow may his love increase, if from man's greater need beauty redound, and claim his tears for homage of his peace. Emily smiles in beauty. Lewis kisses her on the shoulder. Her eyes remain closed. Emily, softly with closed eyes. Lewis, under his breath, what is it, sweetheart? Emily, softly with closed eyes, I cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is illusion. My brain keeps playing tricks on me. Lewis, sweetly by her neck, it's okay. Don't take it to the heart. Albert Einstein once said reality is merely an illusion, although a very persistent one. Emily opens her eyes. Emily, sometimes your brain turns against you when you least expected it. Louis, softly by her neck. Love happens when you least expected it to. That leaves it even. Louis kisses her on the shoulder. Emily, I mean you give illusion more than its share, it takes over your conscious. You have to open your eyes and see life is real. Louis, I can't agree more. Louis kisses her on the shoulder. Emily, anyway, I want you to meet my parent. It is my sister wedding this coming Saturday. Louis, under his breath, sure. They kiss. EXT Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. Emily is behind the wheel. Louis is in the passenger seat. They drive in the spellbinding part of California. We see the Pacific Ocean in the coastline of California on the left-hand side, which means they are driving north. Int. Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. Emily steps on the gas, accelerating, showing off. The speedometer shows 175 miles per hour going 190 miles per hour. Louis is a little bit terrified. He looks at the speedometer and realizes time has changed since he has been frozen 100 years ago. But he chooses to say nothing as the car continues to fly like a rocket. EXT Emily's Lamborghini convertible, moving, day. An established shot of Emily's Lamborghini convertible with Emily and Louis as they continue to drive, passing one car after another. We then take it with overhead shot looking down the mountain, rivers, lakes, Pacific Ocean, and the beautiful houses in the coastline of California. EXT Napa Valley Caffarina, day. An established shot of Napa Valley Winery Field. EXT Napa Valley Caffarina, Emily's Lamborghini, moving, day. Louis and Emily drive through the winery field. EXT Emily's parents, the Taylors, house, sunset. An established shot of Emily's parent house, it's a splendid villa that looks like a medieval castle with an ultra-modern touch. Lamborghini convertible, Louis and Emily come driving and park the car in front of the house. Louis and Emily step out of the car, walk up to the house. Emily rings the bell. A maid named Sarah opens the door. Emily, hi. Sarah. Sarah, Emily. They hug and kiss on the cheeks. Sarah looks at Louis. Emily, this is Louis. To Louis, Sarah. Louis, hi. Louis gives Sarah his hand to shake. Sarah, how do you do? Sarah takes Louis's hand, greeting. Sarah and Louis kiss on the cheeks. Sarah, come in. Int. The Taylor's house, sunset. Louis and Emily enter and begin to walk toward the living room. Emily, are they home? Mom and Dad? Sarah, they all are here. Your mother is cooking in the kitchen. Your father is playing card in the porch. Louis and Emily begin to walk toward the porch, crossing the living room. EXT the Taylor's house, porch, day. Jonathan Taylor, Emily's father, Ronald White, Emily's brother-in-law, Edward White, Ronald's father, Kevin Taylor, Emily's younger brother, and a young man named Jim Brooks sit at the table, playing card, poker. Louis and Emily come up to the porch. Jonathan looks at his daughter. Mr. Taylor, Amy. Emily, hi, Daddy. Mr. Taylor puts his card on the table, gets up, and walks up to her. Emily and Mr. Taylor hug. Mr. Taylor kisses her on the cheek. Mr. Taylor, how are you? Emily, I am fine. Mr. Taylor looks at Louis. Emily, off her father look, this is Louis. To Louis, my father Jonathan. Mr. Taylor, hi. Jonathan gives Louis his hand to shake. Louis, hi. Louis takes Mr. Taylor's hand, greeting. Mr. Taylor, nice to meet you. Louis, likewise. Kevin approaches his sister. Kevin, what's up, Emily? Emily, nothing much. They hug and kiss on the cheeks. Emily, to Louis, this is my brother Kevin. Kevin, hey. Kevin gives Louis his hand to shake. Louis, hi. Louis takes Kevin's hand, greeting. Ronald, to Emily, what's up? Emily, nothing much. They kiss on the cheeks. On the soundtrack, music plays. Emily greets Jim and Edward. She introduces Louis to Ronald, Edward, and Jim. They all greet and talk. Int. Emily's parents' house, kitchen, day. Emily's sister, Courtney, wedding preparation day. We see Courtney, bride-to-be, Emily's mother, Mrs. Barbara Taylor, Emily's younger sister, Melissa, and Courtney's friends, Zoe and Kimberly, preparing all kinds of foods. Louis and Emily walk in. Emily greets her mother and sister with kisses. Emily introduces Louis to her mother and sister. They all greet and talk, including Zoe and Kimberly. EXT Jim Brooks's house, night. An established shot of Jim Brooks's house. Its splendid villa in the middle of the winery field. We hear music from inside. Int. Jim Brooks's house, bachelor party, night. Ronald, Jim, Kevin, and 6 more guys, Ronald's friends, have a bachelor party. Ronald sits on a chair. A girl named Amanda, a professional exotic dancer, gives Ronald lap dance. Standing in the back of the room, Louis watches them in ease while drinking beer, Heineken, from a bottle. Then, another surprise, 6 more exotic dancers come from upstairs wearing exotic outfits and begin to dance around Ronald. The guys make noise. Louis continues to watch them. Int. Zoe's house, bachelorette party, night. Zoe, Kimberly, Courtney, and 4 more attractive young women are in the middle of a bachelorette party. We see Courtney sitting inside a bathtub placed in the middle of the living room for the sole purpose of the party without a single drop of cloth. 4 male muscular exotic dancers, 1 feeds Courtney grapes, Guy 2 washes her body, Guy 3 and Guy 4 dances exotic. The girls scream like hell. Emily stands in the back, sipping wine. She then puts down her glass on a table, walks down the living room, opens the door, and exits. EXT Zoe's house, night. Emily walks through the garden, comes to a water fountain and sits at the fountain. Emily takes out a cigarette, lights it and begins to smoke, looking at the giant bright moon and the sparkling stars. Int. Jim's house, bachelor party, night. The female exotic dancers continue to dance. The guys continue to party as if there were no tomorrow. Ronald gets another lap dance from a different girl. Louis looks at them for a bit. He puts down his beer on a table, walks down the living room, opens the door and leaves the house. EXT Jim's house, night. Louis walks down the garden. He sees Emily sitting on the water fountain dreaming the dreams. Water fountain. Emily looks at Louis as he approaches her. She crashes her cigarette. Louis, hi. Emily, hi. Louis, it's a beautiful night. Emily, are you having fun? Louis, I am having the time of my life. Emily, what are you doing here? I thought you were supposed to be at the bachelor party. Louis, humorously, I was at the bachelor party. Men can be superfluously irrational. We live for pleasure. Emily, Buddha said praise and blame, gain and loss, pleasure and sorrow come and go like the wind. To be happy, rest like a giant tree in the midst of them all. But it is Aristotle who said, a man is by nature a social animal. Louis, quoting Aristotle, man is by nature a social animal, an individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either a beast or a god. Emily, I read your book, Blue Lotus. Louis smiles softly. Louis, I was in cocaine when I wrote it. Emily, you don't do drug, do you? Louis, no I don't. It is only one time. I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. You know, Hollywood, movie stars, all that is film industry. I wasn't in the right state of mind. I took a little bit cocaine and wrote it. Emily smiles softly. Emily, Blue Lotus is classic. It is one of my favorite books of all time. Louis, I am almost finished Rouge Lotus. I am dedicating it to you. It's better than Blue Lotus. She smiles beauty. They kiss. EXT Wedding Chapel, Courtney and Ronald's wedding, day. Ronald, wearing a tuxedo, stands at the chapel. Emily is bridesmaid. She stands next to Zoe. Kimberly and the 4 attractive young women, whom we saw at the bachelorette party, are also bridesmaids. Jim Brooks is Ronald's best man. He gives Emily a soft smile. Emily turns her eyes and looks at Louis, who is sitting at the first row, next to Mrs. Taylor. Louis catches Emily's eyes. Emily blows him a kiss. Louis catches her air kiss and places it in his chest pocket, close to his heart, and gives her a wink. She smiles in beauty. Then, wearing a breathtaking wedding gown, Courtney walks down the aisle, escorted by her father Mr. Taylor. Ronald comes forward, and takes Courtney's hand. Ronald and Courtney stand in front of the priest. Priest, we are gathered here in the presence of these witnesses to join this man and this woman together in matrimony. Pan 2, Louis. Louis looks at the bride. It's Emily. He looks at the groom, it's him, Louis. Louis doesn't know what's happening. He quickly opens his eyes. He was dreaming. Close up, the bride, Courtney, and the groom, Ronald. They seem to know what they are about to be entering. They look at each other as if they were crazy in love. Priest, the contract is a most solemn one and not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and seriously with deep realization of its obligations and responsibilities. On the soundtrack, Temptations My Girl plays. EXT Courtney and Ronald's wedding, reception, day. A man named Patrick sings Temptations My Girl. We see the groom and the bride dancing in the middle of the crowd. Emily dances with her father, Mr. Taylor. Jim, the best man, dances with Emily's mother, Mrs. Taylor. Louis stands by the open bar, sipping champagne. Louis looks at Emily, who continues to dance with her father. Then an attractive girl named Michelle approaches him. Michelle, hi. Louis, hi. Michelle, you're Louis. Louis nods yes. Michelle gives Louis her hand. Louis takes Michelle's hands, greeting. Michelle, it's nice to meet you. I heard a lot of amazing things about you. Louis says nothing. Michelle, they said you wrote Blue Lotus. Is that true? Louis, acting humble / under his breath, something like that. On the soundtrack, Patrick's My Girl plays with full volume. Louis and Michelle continue to talk. On the dance floor, Emily looks at Louis and Michelle conversing. She seems to be a little bit jealous, but plays it cool naturally, and continues to dance with her father without missing a beat. Then, her father excuses Emily, takes the bride's hand, who happens to be nearby. Mr. Taylor asks Courtney for a dance. Courtney accepts. Mr. Taylor and Courtney dance. At the same time, the groom gives Emily his hand to dance. Emily takes Ronald's hand. Ronald and Emily dance. On the other end, Louis and Michelle continue to talk without a sound. Louis turns his eyes and looks at Emily, who is dancing with the groom. Emily catches Louis's eyes and gives him a soft beautiful smile. Louis returns her smile and resumes the conversation with Michelle. Courtney and Ronald's wedding, reception, later. On the stage, Patrick sings new song, Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Mr. Taylor and Mrs. Taylor dance. The bride and the groom dance. The guests continue to mingle. Louis stands alone looking at his surrounding while sipping champagne. Emily walks up to Louis. Emily, hey. Louis, under his breath, hi. They kiss. Emily, you seem you are having a lot of fun. Louis, I'm having the time of my life. Emily, tell me about it. Louis, I have never been the part of anything like this. Emily, I don't believe you. Louis, your sister looks like a princess from a fairy tale. She looks gorgeous. But for some reason, I couldn't take my eyes off you. Emily, is that so? Louis, you look irresistible. They exchange soft kisses. Louis, you want to dance? Louis gives Emily his hand to dance. Emily takes Louis's hand. Louis and Emily come to the dance floor and dance slow. Close up, Louis and Emily. They are talking between soft kisses while dancing. Emily, who is she, the girl you were talking to earlier? Louis, she said her name is Michelle. Emily, what does she want? Louis, humorously, no clue. Emily, were you attracted to her? Louis, we were just talking nonsense. Emily, what did you talk about? Louis, nothing serious. Off her look. She asked me what I like and hate. I told her I hate the fact that we are here in this world for a very short period, we get sick, eventually old and perish. Some of us even die young in vain like Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, compared to eternity, which I believe it is the ultimate measurement of our soul, and the collective consciousness of the cosmos. We have lived many lives, but we don't remember anything. Emily, that sounds extraordinary. Louis, humorously, that is only what I hate. Emily, what did you tell her about what you like? Louis, I told her I like the fact that we are phenomena, and the physical incarnation of time, space, and infinity that manifest throughout the cosmos, and maintain the quintessence of creation. No matter what life throws at us, we always find way to make the most out of it, and live a life that we imagine with freedom, purpose, and happiness. She smiles in beauty. They exchange soft kiss. Emily, you were killing it? Louis smiles softly. They exchange soft kiss. Louis, do you want to hear what she said? Emily, softly by his lips, what did she said? Louis, she said that is what beautiful to her, life is full of paradoxes, war and peace, yin and yang. They exchange soft kisses. Emily, as if she reads his mind, male and female, dark and light. They talk while exchange soft kisses. Louis, life and death. Soft kisses. Emily, love and hate. Soft kisses. Louis, yet we are more deceptive than the devil, more sensitive and receptive than the angels in heavens, and more understanding and thoughtful than God. Nothing serious. Emily, seductively by his lips, that is as serious as it gets. Deceptive than the devil, more understanding and thoughtful than God mean let's have sex. Louis smiles charismatically. Louis and Emily kiss French. Int. The tailor's house, main bedroom, day. Louis and Emily enter kissing. They remove each other's clothes fanatically. They fall on the bed, kiss more passionately and begin to make love. Int. Freud Neurology Center, dream room, day. Louis sit in ADI chair, advanced dream interpreter chair, dreaming. EXT graveyard, morning. Louis walks through an old medieval graveyard. It's foggy. We see snakes crawling on the ground. Rats are running everywhere. All kinds of insects and bugs creeping. It is terrifying. Yet Louis seems calm. He sees Rachel standing in front of a grave that has the statue of Saint Mary. She is wearing a beautiful light blue dress. There is a black horse behind Rachel. Mysteriously, Rachel's light blue dress turns into black. Rachel then turns into ravens. The ravens fly away. All of a sudden, it begins to rain violently. Lightnings cut through the sky. Vine plants begin to grow throughout the graveyard unnaturally fast. Out of nowhere appear 4 vicious dogs. The horse screams, kicking his feet in the air. The dogs move toward Louis. Louis turns around and runs as fast as he can. The dogs follow Louis barking. Medium shot of Louis running with full speed and the 4 vicious dogs following him. Louis then runs through the thin air, a different dimension/portal, and finds himself at a cliff and ocean front. EXT cliff and ocean front, day. Violent waves and storm rattle the cliff. It continues to rain mercilessly. Louis walks at edge of the cliff. It is at least 20 feet. Then, out of nowhere appears a tiger and charges after Louis. Louis sees the tiger, runs down the cliff, jumps into the ocean and begins to swim freestyle against the current as fast as he can. Close up, Louis. Louis looks like Michael Phelps, stroking the water flawlessly against strong current and violent storm. Louis then gets tired and drawn in the midway. Underwater. First, Louis struggles for air. Then it's not as bad as he thought. He begins to swim under the water like fish. We see all kinds of gorgeous underwater creatures that emit light. Then, out of nowhere comes a beautiful mermaid named Lucy. Lucy swims toward Louis, gets near, and kisses his lips sweetly. Lucy then takes Louis's hand and tells him to follow her. Louis follows Lucy, swimming under the water. Underwater, City of Nicole. Lucy and Louis come to underwater civilization, City of Nicole that's ruled by mermaids. We see about 24 mermaids swimming under the water. Yet the only difference is the mermaids' tails turn into regular feet naturally as soon as they exit the water. Lucy now has feet. She gets out of the water by the staircase. Louis follows her. We see about 120 mermaids with feet standing at magnificent glass buildings built underwater. The mermaids look at Louis as if they were expecting him. A girl named Natalie, the leader, comes forward. Louis looks at her. Natalie, hi, I am Natalie. Louis, what's this place? Natalie, City of Nicole, an underwater civilization. Louis, what underwater civilization? Natalie, you think you are in Earth. But you are in a planet called Natopia. Come on. I will tell you everything. You look dirty. They will clean you up. The mermaids begin to escort Louis into the spellbinding glass buildings. EXT Natalie's palace, bathing pool, day. It's a huge bathing pool. There are 4 waterfalls that are falling into the bathing pool. Louis is inside the pool. 4 nude mermaids wash Louis, who seems lost. But he is enjoying the experience. Int. Natalie's palace, dining room, day. Louis, Natalie, and 22 important mermaids sit at the dinner table. On the dinner table, we see all kinds of foods that are made of sea creatures, lobsters, fish, salmon, crabs, etc. Mermaid servants place more seafood on the table, shark eyes, octopus, and swordfish. They walk away. Louis has a lobster. Louis, referring to shark eyes, what are those things? Natalie, they are shark eyes. Louis acts amused rather than disgust. Louis takes a piece of shark eye with his fork and eats it. Louis, it is delicious. Natalie, they kill more mermaids than heart disease. Louis has another shark eye. Louis, that is sad. There is a silent moment. Natalie then asks all of them to leave with a nod. The mermaids get up and leave. Natalie looks at Louis for a long second. She then. Natalie, do you have a question? Louis, as a matter of fact, yes, I do. Puts down his fork and knife on his plate. How did I get here? Natalie, I don't have the answer for that. You are here. That's all it matters. Louis and Natalie gaze at each other silently. EXT Natalie's palace, beach, night. Natalia stands in the beach, looking at the endless ocean, bright moons, sparkling stars. Louis comes to the beach. Natalie looks at him as he approaches her. Natalie, hi. Louis, hi. There is a silent moment. He then. Louis, what do you want from me? Natalie, I want you to tell me the meaning of love. A beat. I read your book The Prince of Heart and the Mermaid. Natalie shows Louis a book that she is holding, The Prince of Heart and the Mermaid, written by Louis Ryan. This audio file was created by Panopreter Basic. You can download it at www.panopreter.com. Natalie, you said, human body contains 60% of water, so a mermaid can swim under our skin as she pleases. For she is covenant of love, to think, to feel, and to bleed, a promise that is sown in the heart to quench thirst that arises from basic instinct. What do you mean by that? Louis, it's fiction. A beat. I fell in love with a girl named Natalie when I was second year in college. She was so beautiful, the recreation of you. I couldn't bring myself to ask her out. I wrote the book instead, thinking someday she would read it. Yet, I had never met her in my life, till today. Natalie, you wrote it for me? Louis, the idea came to me in one sitting. She gets closer and kisses his lips. Louis kisses her. Close up, Louis and Natalie. They kiss more intimately. Natalie senses something and parts her lips. Natalie, softly, what is it? Louis, I am sorry. I can't do this. I must return to Emily. Natalie, under her breath, I understand. There is a silent moment. They gaze at each other's eyes. Louis gives her a soft kiss on the lips. She cuddles him and kisses him passionately. They kiss more intimately and part their lips. Louis, I have to go. Natalie, so go. Louis, how can I get out of this place? Natalie, there is only one way out. You see that light? Natalie points at light in the middle of the water. Louis looks at the light. It is a spacecraft. Natalie, spacecraft. It's mine. You can take it. Louis looks at the water. How can I get there? Natalie, off Louis's look, if you truly love her, you can walk on the water. Louis places his right foot on the water. The water supports his foot. He places his other foot on the ocean, walks down the water, and comes up to the spacecraft. Int. Spacecraft, night. Louis gets in the spacecraft, comes to the wheel, and starts the spacecraft. EXT spacecraft, night. The spacecraft gets up in the air. We see ripples and wavelets on the water. The spacecraft moves gradually. Int. Spacecraft, moving, night. Louis continues to fly the ship. Louis then presses a red button. EXT spacecraft, moving, night. The spacecraft flies at the speed of light and teleports through the thin air and disappears. EXT spacecraft, moving, Earth, day. Louis's spacecraft reappears in solar system, outer space, and heads toward Earth. Int. Spacecraft, moving, day. Lewis looked through the window. It is Earth. Yet Lewis is having technical difficulty. We hear all kinds of warning sounds and see red and orange emergency light blinking. EXT Earth, cornfield, day. It's eternal cornfield. It must be over 500 square miles. Lewis's spacecraft, it comes flying and lands on the cornfield awkwardly, crashing moderately. Lewis is fine. He gets out of the spaceship and looks at all four directions. It's endless crops. Lewis begins to walk through the corns following the sun. EXT cornfield, later. Lewis continues to walk through the mazes. EXT cornfield, house, sunset. It's a Gothic house. Lewis comes out of the cornfield and walks up to the house. The door is open. Lewis opens the door wider and enters. Int. House, living room, sunset. Lewis comes to the main living room. It looks abandoned. Yet we see the portrait of Rachel and Lewis on the wall. He looks at it. Then mysteriously, the fire appears in the fireplace. All of a sudden, the house is alive. Lewis turns his eyes, sees a man who looks exactly like him, Lewis 2, and Rachel sitting at the dinner table with their two kids, Cody, 3, and Elizabeth, 6. They are in the middle of having Thanksgiving dinner. On the table, we see roasted chicken, stuffed turkey, apple pie, bread, gravy, cranberry sauce, etc. The TV is on. It shows the Addams Family starring Angelica Houston, Raul Julia, and Christina Ricci. Rachel, what are you going to do about this corn smut? It almost destroyed the entire crop. Lewis 2, I already told you. I'll take care of it. It seems they don't notice the existence of the actual Lewis as if he were a ghost. Rachel, mocking, I'll take care of it. When are you going to take care of it? Frank and Helen are using genetic engineer crops in 200 square miles and making 4 times more money than you. It is time to open your eyes that life is not organic. Lewis 2, okay. You win. If it's going to make any difference, I'll turn everything into genetic engineer. Now, can we eat without fighting please? It is Thanksgiving Day. Rachel, whatever. They eat silently. The actual Lewis still doesn't know what is going on. Rachel takes a sip from her wine and puts it back on the table. She then. Rachel, do you have anything to tell me? Lewis, like what? Rachel, like double life, another family. Lewis, what are you talking about? Rachel gets up and walks toward the living room. Rachel, to actual Lewis who is standing in her way, excuse me. Lewis moves aside. There is a confusion look on his eyes. He thought they couldn't see him. He doesn't know what is going on. Rachel comes to bookshelf, grabs a yellow manila envelope. Rachel pulls out photographs from the envelope as she returns to the dinner table. Rachel places the photograph in front of Lewis 2 and takes her seat back. Lewis 2 looks at the photographs. We see Lewis 2 and Mia, the girl whom we saw earlier, standing in the front of the porch and kissing at Lewis 2's second house, Lewis 2, who is carrying a 2-year-old girl, and Mia standing next to Lewis 2's pickup truck, Lewis 2 and Mia sitting in a restaurant and talking, etc. Lewis 2, where did you get these pictures? Rachel, it doesn't matter where I got them. I've already talked to my lawyer. I'm divorcing you. Lewis 2, wait a minute. Can we talk about it? It's not what you think. She is a friend. I am only supporting her. Rachel, save your breath. I know your little lie. Lewis 2 grabs a bread knife from the table. Lewis 2 to his kids who are playing with the remote control and not understanding the argument between their parent, Cody. Elizabeth. Go to your room. Cody and Elizabeth, who have placed the channel on Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh by accident, put down the remote control on the table, get up, and head to their room, upstairs, climbing the staircases. Lewis the farmer gets up with the knife. Lewis 2, so, I have another family, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Lewis 2 stands in front of Rachel, inches away. Rachel opens his pants, gets down with her knee and begin to give him oral sex, off screen. Lewis 2 takes the pleasure for consideration. He puts down the knife on the table, pulls her hair up. Rachel stands up, puts her arms around him. Lewis 2 and Rachel kiss passionately. Lewis 2 removes everything from the table. Foods, glasses, and plates crash on the floor. Lewis 2 places Rachel on the table, rips her underwear. They kiss passionately and begin to make love on the dinner table as the actual Lewis continues to watch them in wonder. Lewis 2 bends Rachel and begins to fuck her doggy style. Rachel is screaming with pleasure and talking dirty, fuck me harder. Lewis turns her, places her on the table, gets between her legs, lifts her left legs, puts it on her shoulder, and continues to enter her enchantingly. Rachel is dying with pleasure, making all kinds of sound with each penetration. Lewis 2 then looks at the photos of Mia as he continues to make love to Rachel. On top of the photos, we see the knife. On the TV screen, we see the famous scene of Marion Crane, Janet Leigh, taking a shower. Dining room, Lewis 2 grabs the knife and begins to stab Rachel while fucking her. At the same time, on the TV, Norman Bates, Anthony Perkins, who is wearing his mother dress, enters the bathroom and stabs Marion to death. The actual Lewis can't believe what he is looking at. Rachel lies dead, drenched in her own blood. Then with amazing camera work, we see the knife on the actual Lewis's hand. The actual Lewis turns into Lewis 2 mysteriously. He is naked, covered with blood, standing next to Rachel's dead body, who is on the table soaked with her own blood. Louis gets up, stands back, drops the knife quickly, and continues to walk backward. Louis then knocks the gas light by accident. The gas light falls on the floor, sets the house on fire. Louis tries to put out the fire in vain, using water from the kitchen without any success. Louis then runs to upstairs, climbing the staircase as the house continues to catch on fire. Louis completely climbs the staircase and walks into Cody and Elizabeth's bedroom. Cody and Elizabeth's bedroom. Louis looks at Cody. He was stabbed to death, sleeping in his own blood. Louis doesn't know what is happening, turns his eyes, and looks at Elizabeth. She's stabbed dead too. Mysteriously, Louis finds the same knife on his hand. He quickly drops it. Cody and Elizabeth's bedroom begin to smoke. Louis exits from Cody and Elizabeth's bedroom as it sets on fire. Staircase. Louis climbs down the stair and walks toward the exit naked as the fire continues to progress throughout the house. EXT Louis 2's house, cornfield, night. Louis exits, and runs into the cornfield without a single drop of cloth like a madman. In the background, we see the house burning. Cornfield, later. Louis continues to run through the cornfield. The ground is covered with hundreds of snakes. Louis runs into a scarecrow. He pushes the scarecrow aside and continues to run. Note, we will see Louis running through the cornfield and encountering scarecrows, snakes, crows, and angels of death who are carrying large scythes and clothed in black cloaks with hoods in series cuts. Then an angels of death sets the cornfield on fire. Louis continues to run in confusion. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, Day. 52 neurologists and scientists, Serena and Dr. Mason, look at the screens while analyzing Louis's nightmare. On the screens, we see Louis running through the maze that is burning like hell. Louis is panic-stricken. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Dream Room, Day. Louis sits in a DI chair, Advanced Dream Interpreter chair. He is sweating. Louis shakes his head violently. He then opens his eyes, removes the SVRT, Supervisual Resonance Tomography, from his head, gets up from the Advanced Dream Interpreter chair and walks toward the exit. Louis opens the door and exits from the dream room. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Hallway, Day. Louis walks down the hallway. He seems disoriented. EXT Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, Day. Louis drives in city of Los Angeles with full speed, passing one car after another like the Fast and the Furious. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, Day. Speedometer shows 150 miles per hour going to 160. Louis steps on the gas. The car drives faster, passing more cars. EXT Emily's Beach House, Sunset. It's a superb 3-story house. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible. Louis comes driving and parks his car in front of Emily's beach house. Louis gets out the car, walks toward the house, climbs the staircase, and knocks on the door. Omit. Then. The door opens, revealing Emily, who is wearing only Louis's shirt and red Victoria's Secret underwear. She looks at Louis with joy. Emily, under her breath, Louis. She steps out and hugs him. Louis and Emily kiss French. Int. Emily's beach house, living room, night. Louis carries Emily, they enter kissing. Emily wraps her arms and her legs around Louis. He walks down the living room, carrying her. They climb the staircase while kissing. They completely climb the staircase, move down the corridor, and enter the main bedroom, joining lips to lips. Emily's beach house, bedroom. Louis places Emily on the bed. Louis and Emily kiss more passionately. Louis lips his lips, caresses her neck, rips opens her shirt. Buttons fly everywhere. Louis kisses her nipples, caresses her belly, goes down slowly, removes her underwear, and begins to give her oral pleasure. Close up, Emily. She moans in sexual pleasure. We see her faces going through all kinds of sexual phases. Emily's beach house, bedroom, later. Louis and Emily continue to make love. It's a steamy, passionate sexual intercourse. Emily is boiling in tremendous sexual pleasure. We stay with them in artistic takes and series cuts. EXT Emily's beach house, bathtub, night. Sparkling stars. Bright moon. Louis and Emily are in the bathtub placed in the beach, facing the endless ocean with hundreds of candles. Louis is behind. Emily rests on her chest. He recites poetry, Love is Enough by William Morris from memory. Louis, love is enough, though the world be a-waning. And the woods have no voice but the voice of complaining. Though the skies be too dark for dim eyes to discover. The gold cups and daisies fair blooming thereunder. Though the hills be held shadows, and the sea a dark wonder. And this day draw a veil over all deeds passed over. Yet their hands shall not tremble, their feet shall not falter. The void shall not weary, the fear shall not alter. These lips and these eyes of the loved and the lover. She smiles in beauty. Louis and Emily kiss. Close up, Louis and Emily. They kiss more intimately. Emily, I don't know what I'd have done without you. Louis smiles softly. They exchange soft kisses. Emily, do you mind if I ask you few personal questions? Louis, what is it? Emily, what does your wife like? Louis, she is kind. Emily, is that all you have to say about her, kind? There is a pause. He then. Louis, quoting Proverbs 31:25, She was clothed with strength and dignity, she could laugh at the days to come. She spoke with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watched over the affairs of her household and did not eat the bread of idleness. Her husband rose and called her blessed and he praised her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm was deceptive, and beauty was fleeting, but a woman who knew true love was to be praised and loved in return for eternity. That's Proverbs from Bible. There is a silent moment. She then. Emily, do you miss her? Louis, sometimes. Emily, what is sometimes? Louis, under his breath more than life itself. Emily smiles softly. There is a silent moment. She then. Emily, I look at Illuminati. Guess what I found? Louis, what did you find out? Emily, Matthew is a member. On the soundtrack, music comes. Emily continues to talk without a sound. Int. Los Angeles Library, flashback, day. Emily sits in the library, reading books about Illuminati. She is looking at Illuminati rituals. We see color paintings of the members of Illuminati performing satanic rituals and sex orgy. Emily flips the page. We see more color paintings of the members of Illuminati performing sexual rituals. Int. Los Angeles Library, flashback, later. Emily is at the circulation desk, using the library catalog computer. In the search engine, Emily types Illuminati culture. The computer lists numerous books that have to do with Illuminati. Int. Los Angeles Library, flashback, minutes later. Emily continues to read a different Illuminati books while taking notes. Ext Moros Ave Shopping Street, flashback, sidewalk, day. Emily walks on the sidewalk. She is carrying a shopping bag. Things look typical for 2150. We see Californians wearing modernistic outfits and moving up and down in a major shopping street. Two men, Ian and Xavier, follow Emily from a fair distance. Emily looks at them and continues to walk but faster. Ian and Xavier move faster as well. Emily enters Julianne department store. Int. Julianne department store, day. It is upscale fashion department store, the equivalent of Nordstrom department stores. Yet it is 10 times bigger than any department store that we see in the modern day. Emily walks down the store. Ian and Xavier enter, and continue to follow her. Emily enters the main elevator. Julianne department store, main elevator. Emily presses a button. The doors close just as Ian and Xavier get near the elevator. Emily stands back as the elevator moves up. Julianne department store. Ian and Xavier run down the store and take the stairway elevator. Julianne department store, main elevator. The elevator door opens at the 4th floor. Emily exits. Julianne department store, 4th floor. Emily walks down the store and enters Yves Saint Laurent woman fashion store. Julianne department store, Yves Saint Laurent store. Emily hides by the clothes. Julianne department store, 4th floor. Ian and Xavier walk down the 4th floor, looking for Emily. They then stop by Yves Saint Laurent store. Julianne department store, Yves Saint Laurent store. Emily looks at Ian and Xavier through the glass window. Julianne department store, Yves Saint Laurent store, 4th floor. Ian and Xavier continue to look for Emily. Xavier comes closer to Yves Saint Laurent store and checks through the glass window where Emily is hiding. Int. Yves Saint Laurent store, day. Emily moves back and hides behind the clothes. Ext Yves Saint Laurent store, day. Xavier enters the store. Ian waits outside, looking around. Int. Yves Saint Laurent store, day. Xavier walks down the store, looking for Emily. She looks at him and hides behind the clothes. Xavier comes up to where Emily is hiding and look at something. It appears Xavier might have found what he is looking for. But wait a second. Another angle shows he is looking at a female dummy that looks real. The female dummy is wearing the latest red Yves Saint Laurent gown. She has big breasts. Xavier shakes his head in admiration, turns around, and walks toward the exit. Emily takes a deep breath. Ext Yves Saint Laurent store, 4th floor, day. Xavier exits. Xavier and Ian turn around, walk toward the exit that leads to the main Moros Mall. Int. Yves Saint Laurent store, day. Emily knows she came so close to get caught. She just drops down, sits on the floor, takes out a cigarette, lights it, and begins to smoke. A young female cell clerk named Claire, 23, approaches Emily. Claire, cell clerk, how may I help you? Claire sees the cigarette on Emily's hand. Claire, I'm sorry. You're not allowed to smoke here. Emily, who said that? Claire, it is the store policy. Emily, you and I know nobody has ever told you that people can't smoke here. You just followed your robotic instinct that smoking in public place is illegal, and decided to say something about it. Am I wrong? Claire points at a no smoking sign next to Emily. Emily looks at it. She is defeated. Emily, okay, you win. Emily gives Claire the cigarette. Claire takes the cigarette and places it between her lips, takes a drag, and breathes out the smoke. Claire, you're right. Nobody told me people can't smoke here. I did use my robotic instinct. She sits next to Emily, takes another puff, and returns the cigarette back to Emily with style. Emily takes the cigarette, has a drag, breathes out the smoke and gives the cigarette back to Claire. Note, they will talk between smoking. Claire, are you in trouble? Emily, Sort of. Claire, what is it? Emily, Illuminati. On the soundtrack, music comes. They continue to talk while smoking. Yet, we don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. We stay with them for a bit. We then pull out with nice camera work. EXT Julianne department store, entrance 2, day. Emily exits the store, entrance 2, and walks down the sidewalk. Then, out of nowhere come a black Mercedes driving and pull next to Emily. Xavier gets out of the passenger seat. Ian exits from the driver's side. Emily stands frozen. Xavier approaches Emily. Xavier takes out a badge. Miss Taylor. FBI. Xavier shows Emily his badge. Xavier, I am sorry for the inconvenient. But you must come with us. Emily thinks about running for a second. But she quickly concludes it's wise to cooperate. Ian opens the back door. Xavier escorts her. Emily gets in the back seat. Xavier enters with her and closes the door. Ian walks around the car, gets behind the wheel, starts the car, and they drive away. Montage. A quick take of the city of Los Angeles in the year 2150, downtown Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, the Hollywood sign, the buildings on the coastline of Pacific Ocean and others. EXT Rob Tech headquarter, flashback, day. An established shot of 100-story glass building. Rockstech is written on top of the building. Int. Rob Tech headquarter, flashback, Matthew's office, day. Matthew sits on the edge of his desk, holding a cigarette and lighter. There are surveillance cameras on the wall. On the surveillance cameras, we see Xavier and Ian escorting Emily toward Matthew's office. Matthew lights his cigarette, takes a drag, breathes out the smoke, and looks at Emily in the surveillance cameras as Xavier and Ian continue to escort her. Surveillance cameras, screens Emily, Xavier, and Ian past the secretary. Matthew presses a button on his table. The door opens automatically, revealing Emily, Xavier, and Ian. Emily, Xavier, and Ian enter. Emily, you have a lot of nerves to drag me here. Matthew gives Ian and Xavier a sign to leave them alone. Xavier and Ian nod, turn around and exit. Matthew presses a button. The door closes automatically. Matthew walks up to his private bar, grabs a scotch from his whiskey collection, and pours it in a whiskey glass. Matthew, we've been following you for a while with satellite. Emily, I am thrilled. Matthew, walking toward her, do you know why we were following you? Emily, I gave up. Matthew, because you were doing things that you were not supposed to do. Emily, what do you mean? Matthew takes a sip and offers Emily the glass. Emily, no. Thanks. Matthew drinks everything in one breath and puts the glass on the table. Matthew, your name came in the computer. Emily, what computer? Matthew, don't play stupid. You know what exactly I am talking about, like warm summer day. Emily, I don't have the slightest clue what you are talking about, like winter freezing night. Matthew, you checked out 20 books regarding to Illuminati. Emily, your point? Matthew, every time people check out those books, their names appear in the computer at Illuminati headquarters. If it's one time, the Illuminati assumes it's for education purpose and lets it go. But if it happens many times, they know people are doing things that they are not supposed to do. Emily, are you trying to tell me that you are a member of Illuminati? Matthew, something like that. Emily, what do you mean something like that? Matthew, I shouldn't say anything. But since I trust you with my life, I am going to be honest with you for the sake of your safety. Yes, I am a member of Illuminati. Your name showed up in the computer. We decided to follow you, because we don't like people probing into our business. We are trying to keep a low profile as much as possible. It's the longest tradition of all elite orders, ethical intelligence and moral principle and excellence. Our secret has been kept hidden from non-members for centuries. Emily, the reason you guys want to keep it hidden, it is because all you guys do is fuck prostitutes and drink human blood in satanic ritual. It is sick. One day, the truth will come out. On the soundtrack, music comes. Emily continues to talk. EXT Illuminati Palace, night. An established shot of Illuminati headquarters. It looks like Buckingham Palace. Int. Mercedes-Benz, moving, night. Lewis comes driving to the palace, passes the main gate, and continue to drives down the mesmerizing park and garden. EXT Illuminati Palace, Mercedes-Benz, moving, night. An established shot of Lewis's new Mercedes as it continues to drive in the Illuminati garden/park. Illuminati Palace, open parking lot. Mercedes-Benz, Lewis makes a right turn and parks the car in the open parking lot. Lewis steps out of the car and heads toward the palace. Int. Illuminati Palace, main room, night. We see the members of Illuminati, who are wearing masks, having orgy, sex with attractive young women and female models like Eyes Wide Shut yet more explicit. Lewis walks in the middle of the sex extravaganza. Int. Illuminati Palace, room 2, night. More Illuminati members, who are wearing masks, have sex with all kinds attractive young women. Lewis continues to walk in the middle of the sex madness. Int. Illuminati Palace, Grand Salon, night. Lewis then enters into the Grand Salon. We see the Grand Duke, who is wearing mask, having a graphic sexual intercourse with an attractive girl. The girl looks at Lewis. She then turns into Rachel. Rachel and the Grand Duke continue to go at it as Louis watches. The Grand Duke then removes his mask. It's Louis himself. Note, we will call him Louis the Grand Duke. Louis the Grand Duke fucks Rachel, then reaches climax and comes inside her. Louis the Grand Duke turns around, walks to his private bar, ignoring the actual Louis who is standing in confusion. Louis the Grand Duke pours scotch in a glass for himself at his private bar. Rachel looks at the actual Louis. She spreads her legs in seduction, and tells him to come in with her finger. Rachel, come. Fuck me till I pee. Louis holds his head with his right hand. He felt blood leaving from every part of his body and goes straight to his penis. Rachel is controlling his mind. He removes his clothes, approaches Rachel naked, gets between her legs. They kiss and begin to have sex. In the background, Louis the Grand Duke sits on the sofa, lights a cigarette, Chesterfield, and watches them while drinking and smoking. Louis bends Rachel against a chair and enters her behind, doggy style. Then Emily enters the room without a single drop of cloth. Louis stops what he is doing and looks at Emily. Rachel looks at Emily as well. She walks up to her and kisses her lips, and tells her, he is all yours. She gives her a delicious French kiss and walks to Louis the Grand Duke and sits on his laps. They kiss French. Emily walks up to Louis. They kiss intimately. Louis picks her up and places her on the table. They kiss more passionately. He then grabs her buttocks, picks her up and enters her as they begin to have sex. Medium shot of Louis and Emily making love. Close up, Louis and Emily. Louis and Emily kiss passionately. We then find Louis and Emily outside magically having sex in the garden. EXT garden, night. It's raining. Lightning can be seen tearing the skies and thunderstorm can be heard roaring. We see all kinds of erotic sculptures of saints and angels. Louis and Emily continue to make love in the rain. Louis then turns into Beast as he continues to have sexual intercourse with Emily. A lightning strikes Louis the Beast in the back like a whip. Louis the Beast continues to make love to Emily as if he were only hit by a whip. Yet we see his back smoking from the effect. 3 more lightnings stick him. Louis the Beast and Emily continue to make love like some kind of thriller meet XXX rated porn. Emily is in tremendous sexual gratification, feels each penetration like eternal fire to her soul. More lightnings stick Louis the Beast on the back, like lashes. Louis the Beast picks her up, reaches his climax, squeezes her buttocks hard and comes deep inside her vagina. Louis the Beast then falls in the mud with Emily as his body smokes. Louis returns into his true form. Louis and Emily, who are lying in the mud out of breath, get closer and kiss passionately. They part their lips and lie on their back in the watery mud out of breath. In the meantime, an invisible force enters Emily. She gives Louis a blowjob, gets on top of him, and begins to ride him fanatically, screaming as if she were possessed by the Princess of Darkness herself. Instead of lightning, she gets hit by invisible whips. Emily yells and continues to ride Louis, who is lying in the mud filled with rain. The water is smoking in vapor. It gives the scene an alluring atmosphere. Emily gets hit multiple times by invisible whips, which resembles to the stigmata of Christ. We see blood flying from her back. Emily then reaches climax and falls on Louis's chest out of breath. We pull out with overhead shot. Int. Emily's beach house, bedroom, morning. Louis opens his eyes. Emily sleeps next to him. He thinks it's another blizzard dream. But wait a second. As Louis gets up, he sees cuts on his shoulders and arms from the lightning. There is blood on the bedsheet. He says, "What is this?" under his breath. We see big cuts on his back. Louis then collects the blanket and looks at Emily back. She has cuts too. Emily opens her eyes and looks at him. Emily, hey. Louis, confused, hi. Emily, I had the craziest dream ever. In the middle of her sentence, she sees blood on Louis's shoulders. Emily, you're bleeding. She looks at his back and quickly gets up. Emily, what is happening? Louis, under his breath, I don't know. She then sees cuts on her arms, shoulders, and waist. Emily, what's going on? Louis, I have no idea. Emily comes up to the mirror and looks at the cuts on her back. Emily, I thought it was a dream. Louis is speechless. He is more confused than her. Int. Emily's beach house, bedroom, later. Emily lies on her back on the bed. Louis softly applies first aid, cleaning the wound. Emily, it can't be real. I thought it was only a dream. Louis, I think sometimes dream and reality intermix. Dr. Mason told me when we dream, all our dreams take place hidden universes right in front of us. They are as real as they can get. I'll talk to him about it and see what he has to say. It's weird we had the same dream. Emily, I know, we were making love. All of a sudden, I got hit by invisible whips like the stigmata of Christ. It felt real. But I was lost in the moment of passion. I just ignore the pain. Louis says nothing. He continues to apply first aid. Emily looks at his wounds. Emily, what are you going to do about your wound? Louis, I'll go see a doctor. Emily, does it hurt? Louis, a little bit. It's cooked inside. Louis continues to apply first aid on Emily's wound. On the soundtrack, music plays. Int. University of Hollywood Hospital, surgery room, day. Louis lies on his back on the medical bed. Dr. Diana Jones, 32, stitches the wound on Louis's back. On the soundtrack, music continues to play. Int. Penelope Bar and Restaurant, night. It's a seductive 5 stars bar and restaurant. Louis and Emily sit at a table with glasses of wine. On the stage, a girl named Angela sings Sada's Your Love Is King featuring Johnny Bond. Nicholas is behind the piano, Jack plays saxophone, Rick plays guitar, Lucas is behind the drum. Johnny, plays electric guitar. It has a romantic blues atmosphere. We see a couple of glamorous customers enjoying their outings. Emily, I think what happens to us last night isn't mystery. It has to be some kind of explanation. Louis, what kind of explanation would that be? Emily, when you dream, even though there is no direct contact, your subconscious makes it real. Our mind designs those fantasy, so we could feel existence. We want to experience life beyond spirituality, fear, and pleasure. You know I want to be a part of nature, part of the multiverse. We had a wholesome desire to rebel against our fates and give our souls eternal light beyond immortality. Louis says nothing. He is taken by her answer. There is a silent moment. Louis and Emily gaze at each other. In the background, we hear Angela as she continues to sing Sada's Your Love Is King. Emily takes a sip from her wine. She then. Emily, Sigmund Freud once said, illusions commend themselves to us because they save us pain and allow us to enjoy pleasure instead. We must therefore accept it without complaint when they sometimes collide with a bit of reality against which they are dashed to pieces. Louis, it is true. Yet Daniel Boorstin said we suffer primarily not from our vices or our weaknesses, but from our illusions. We are haunted, not by reality, but by those images we have put in their place. I believe they are forces beyond our understanding that manipulate our memories, thoughts, and emotions, and keep us at bay. And then again, the heart is made of illusion. Each beat is manifestation of life that has its own sense of authenticity, perception, awareness, and unique vision of pragmatism. The tenderness of our breaths, the purity of our existence, and the inimitable lightness of our essence can't conquer the passion we have for each other even we are destined to be lonely. And we can be unstoppable if we allow love to give our hearts wings lighter than butterflies, and songs more melodious than the throbs in the bird's lungs, and silent more thoughtful than a mind at peace. And to drop in each other's belly and flap our wings sadistically and masochistically whatever that means, till we feel yearning, pain, lust, agony, and longing of love in our lips. And to kiss fervently as if we would never run out of breaths, but breaths run out of oxygens and burn like stardust in our livers. And to kiss more passionately, till our souls bleed like flesh is nailed on crosses upside down for sins that we have committed in our hearts, falling head over heels in love with love, but ask no forgiveness. And quench our thirst with French kiss that surpasses all crucifixions and leaves death and resurrection in the dust, but bites like the meanest bugs, which makes us want to cut our chests with knives, and scratch our hearts till we bleed more and leave nail marks in our souls. And to make love and leave nothing for imagination but memories of love, and celebration of being that give new meaning to the best times of our lives beyond creation, breathing, and existence itself. Emily, that is romantic. She gets up, sits on his lap, puts her arms around him, and they kiss French. Emily, you had this gorgeous effect on me. I don't know how to describe it. I feel the happiest when I am with me. They exchange soft kisses. Emily, sometimes, I wish I could enter your skin, dissolve in your heart and make love to your soul. Louis, you have no idea how many times you have whirled under my skin, dissolve in my heart and made love to my soul. Every time I look at your eyes, I see creation. They are the one who gave birth to the stars in the universe. Every time I kiss your lips, I find you under my skin, making love to my soul. I feel climax with each heartbeat, billions of roses, tulips, lotuses, and suns exploding in the darkest part of my soul like supernova. Emily, you can't be real. You are a dream. Louis smiles softly. Louis, would you like to dance? Louis gives Emily his hand to dance. Emily gets up from his lap, takes his hand. They come to the dance floor and begin to dance slow with Angela's Your Love Is King. Emily, humorously imagine, if aliens come to Earth, take you, remove all your memories, and place you back in Earth, what would you do? Louis, I'll find you and kiss you as if you were the only living soul God has ever created. Emily smiles in beauty. They kiss French. On the soundtrack, the actual Sada's Your Love Is King plays. Int. Louis's beach house, bedroom, night. Louis and Emily make love. It's sensual, steamy, seductive, and passionate. We stay with them with series cuts. Montage. Louis's new Jeep, moving Louis, who is behind the wheel, and Emily, who is in the passenger seat, drive in the highway. On the soundtrack, music plays. Colorado, Aspen Ski Resort, Louis and Emily ski. They both are excellent skiers, moving on the breathtaking snow hill and slopes with elegance, grace, and beauty. Colorado, Aspen Ski Resort, Louis and Emily play in the snow, throwing snowballs at each other. Louis chases Emily who is running in the snow. Louis catches her. They both fall on the snow, roll in the snow, laughing, and smiling as they continue to fight with snow. Louis and Emily then kiss while lying on the snow. Aspen Winter X Game, Louis and Emily watch professional Winter X Game athletes skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, and doing all kinds of amazing tricks. Note, we will see ski big air, ski slopestyle, ski superpipe, snowboard big air, snowboard slopestyle, snowmobile speed and style and others with series cuts. Aspen, Rocky Women's Clothing Store, Emily comes out of the dressing room wearing a splendid yellow Versace gown and shows Louis the dress. Louis couldn't believe how stunning she looks. Emily, wearing an alluring silver and black Christian Dior dress, comes out of the dressing room, and shows Louis the gown. Louis loves it. Emily comes out of the dressing room in a futuristic light blue Alexander McQueen gown and shows Louis the dress. Emily, wearing a gold and black striped Yves Saint Laurent gown, comes out of the dressing room and shows Louis the dress. Emily comes out of the dress room wearing an ultra-modern light purple Dolce & Gabbana gown. Emily comes out of the dressing room wearing a stylish red Valentino gown. Louis tells her she looks breathtaking. Aspen Resort and Restaurant, Emily, who is wearing another breathtaking red Valentino gown, and Louis sit at a table, having glasses of red wine while conversing. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. Louis then gives Emily his hand to dance. Emily takes Louis's hand. They come to the dance floor and begin to dance slow. They talk between soft kisses. Louis says something. Emily smiles in beauty. Louis and Emily kiss French. EXT Louis and Emily's lake house, night. An established shot of Louis and Emily Gateway House at Crater Lake in Pitkin County, Colorado. Int. Louis and Emily's lake house, living room, night. Louis and Emily make love on a mattress placed on the floor by the fireplace. We see about 100 candles and rose petals throughout the living room. It's sensual, steamy, seductive, and passionate sex. Int. Louis and Emily's lake house, living room, later. Louis sits at a table working on his new book, Rouge Lotus, finishing. He doesn't have to type a single word. He only speaks his thoughts. The software in the computer changed the audio into letters. Emily is sleeping on the mattress. EXT Colorado Rocky Mountain, morning. We see the sun as it rises over the breathtaking snowy Rocky Mountain. Int. Louis and Emily's lake house, kitchen, day. Louis is in the middle of preparing breakfast, blueberry muffins and scrambled eggs with tomato, potato, mushroom, onion, garlic, green pepper, and vanilla. We stay with him for a bit and pull out dexterously. Louis and Emily's lake house, living room. Emily sleeps on the mattress. She opens her eyes and yawns, stretching her arms. We notice she is nude. We see her breasts over the blanket. Emily covers herself and lies on her back looking at the camera as we look at her down with overhead shot. Then, Louis comes to the living room carrying the breakfast, blueberry muffin, scrambled eggs and coffee, on a tray. Emily looks at him. Louis, good morning. Emily, good morning. Louis places the meal on the floor, comes and kisses Emily. She puts her arms around Louis. They kiss more intimately. Taking between soft kiss. Emily, smell good. What did you make for breakfast? They exchange soft kisses. Louis, scrambled eggs, blueberry muffins and coffee. Soft kisses. Emily, I am dying for blueberry muffins and coffee. It's my favorite breakfast of all time. Soft kisses. Louis, what about, you don't like scrambled eggs? Emily, I wouldn't go out and kill an innocent chef for scrambled eggs. Soft kisses. Louis, are you sure? Soft kisses. Emily, I am not the biggest fan of scrambled eggs or omelets. They are the most overrated breakfast ever. Soft kisses. Louis, how come? Emily, you don't need any skill to make scrambled eggs or omelets. You just break the eggs and puts it on the cooking pan. That's it. Louis, this is the best scrambled eggs recipe ever. I made it with tomato, onion, mushroom, garlic, green pepper, potato, and vanilla. You'd love it more than anything. Soft kisses. Emily, I doubt it if it's as scrumptious as your lips. I'm literally addictive to them. Louis smiles charismatically. Louis and Emily kiss. Emily, seductively by his lips however, since you mentioned vanilla, I'll try it. I'm the biggest vanilla freak. Louis and Emily kiss more intimately. On the soundtrack, music comes. Breakfast, later. Louis and Emily, who is wearing red underwear and Louis's shirt, sit at the breakfast table, enjoying blueberry muffins, scrambled eggs and coffee while conversing. Emily tells Louis a story. Louis says something. Emily smiles in beauty, gets up and sits on his lap. They talk between soft kisses. We don't hear what they are saying due to the music on the soundtrack. They then kiss French. EXT Los Angeles Bookstore, book releasing ceremony, day. Louis sit at the table signing on his new book Rouge Lotus. It's sold digital. People wait online holding Sony books, iPods, Androids, and others. Louis signs on everything. He is having a lot of fun. We see the image of Emily on the poster of Rouge Lotus. Out of nowhere comes Emily behind Louis and covers his eyes while he is signing. He takes her hand and places her on laps. She puts her arms around his neck. He puts his arms around her. They kiss French. The customers watch them in amazement. Some of them take out their cell phone and photographs them. Louis and Emma continue to go at it as if their lips and tongues are made of roses and tulips. EXT Louis's Malibu house, kitchen, night. It is a similar take to the beginning of the movie. Louis walks up to the refrigerator, opens the refrigerator, and gets a can of soda, Coke. He pops open the Coke and takes a sip. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear the same music. Louis then sees a DVD on the kitchen table. He grabs the DVD, places it in the DVD players, and plays it. On the DVD screen, we see Illuminati satanic sex rituals, Illuminati members, who are wearing masks, having sex with attractive young women. Cut to, we then see Rachel having sex with the Grand Duke who is wearing mask. It looks like that she records it secretly. It's her undercover work. But somehow, she got herself into the mix. Louis looks at it in shock. He watches it a little bit, turns it off, and opens the kitchen drawer revealing a Colt 45. Louis grabs the gun and walks into the living room. Living room. Louis slowly climbs the staircases. Bathroom. Rachel is in the bathtub surrounded by candles with her eyes closed. Living room. Louis continues to climb the staircase. Then, magically, Louis finds himself outside climbing a step at a park in Rome, parallel universe. EXT Rome, parallel universe, park/Graydon, day. It's park and garden. Louis climbs a stair that has 100 steps. He then reaches the top of the stair. He has the same gun on his hand. Louis continues to walk down the park/garden that has trees both sides. It must be fall. The trees have golden yellow and orange leaves. The ground is covered with leaves. On the other end, we see Rachel in the bathtub placed in the middle of the garden. The bathtub is filled with blue flowers. Her eyes remain closed. We see amazing erotic sculpture of lovers, saints, and angels throughout the garden. Louis approaches her with his gun. Rachel opens her eyes and looks at Louis as if she expected him. Louis lifts his hand and fires at her. Bow. The first bullet hits her in the right breast. Bow. The second bullet hits her in the chest. Bow. The third bullet hits her in the stomach. Bow. The fourth bullet hits her in the forehead. Louis drops the gun. He is dizzy. Everything around him begins to spin. Louis turns around and takes 2 steps and falls on the leaves. The sky spins around him. Louis holds his head in pain. Then with amazing special effect, the leaves turn into rose petals and the ground turns into water. Louis submerges into the rose petals water and drowns in the water, ocean. Int. Ocean, underwater, day. Louis is panic. He doesn't know what's happening to him. Yet he isn't having difficulty to breathe. He floats under the water like jellyfish. Louis then sees a big shark advancing toward him. In the meantime, Louis's Colt 45 can be seen floating nearby. Louis thinks about getting the gun. Before he does anything, the shark comes near to Louis, inches, turns around and swims away. Louis swims underwater. He then slowly ascends out of the water. EXT ocean, day. Louis comes out of the water and takes a deep breath, and swims toward the shore. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, day. The 52 neurologists and scientists, Serena and Dr. Mason, look at the screens analyzing Louis's dream. On the screens, we see Louis swimming toward the shore. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, later. Louis and Dr. Mason sit at the table, reviewing Louis's latest dream on multiple screens. On the screens, we see Louis shooting Rachel. They watch it a little bit. Dr. Mason then pauses the video. Louis, I killed her. Dr. Mason, no. You didn't kill her. Your mind wants to let her go. It created this illusion where you shot her. I think your subconscious mind wants you to move on with your life. What actually happened at night was EXT Louis's Malibu house, flashback, night. 2049. The taxi comes driving and pulls next to the house. EXT taxi, flashback, night. 2049. Louis pays the taxi drivers $100. Louis, keep the change. The taxi driver takes the money. Louis opens the door, gets out of the taxi, walks toward his house. The taxi reverses out and drives away. We see a black Mercedes parked across the street. Pan 2, black Mercedes. Serena, Dr. Keaton, is behind the wheel. She is talking on her cell phone. Serena looks at Louis as he enters the house. Serena, on the phone he just walks in. Int. Louis's beach house, flashback, night. 2049. Louis enters and walks toward the kitchen. Int. Louis's beach house, bathroom, night. 2049. Emily is in the bathtub, listening to music with her iPod. Int. Louis's beach house, kitchen, night. 2049. Louis comes to the refrigerator, opens it, and gets a can of soda, Coke. He pops open the soda and takes a sip as he walks toward the living room. Int. Louis's beach house, bathroom, night. 2049. Dr. Mason walks in carrying Colt 45 and a sport bag and shoots Rachel in the chest. Int. Louis's beach house, living room, night. 2049. Louis drops the soda. Int. Louis's beach house, bathroom, night. 2049. Dr. Mason shoots Rachel 3 more times, bow. 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 Dr. Mason then talks out a NGED, nerve gas emitting device, from his bag, puts on an oxygen mask, presses a red button and glues it under the faucet, hidden from view. Dr. Mason quickly takes out ATMT, advanced time traveling machine devices, spray and laser pen. Dr. Mason draws a rectangle in the empty air and spray time traveling machine atomizer inside the rectangle area, opening invisible portal. Dr. Mason walks through the thin air and disappears. Int. Louis's beach house, living room, night. 2049. Louis climbs the staircase, reaches the top of the staircase, moves down the corridor, and walks toward the bathroom. Louis's beach house, bathroom, 2049. Louis enters, sees Rachel lying in the bathtub with her own blood dead. She is shot in the head, chest, breast, and stomach. Louis looks at the murder weapon on the floor. Pan 2, NGED, nerve gas emitting device. We see NGED emitting invisible nerve gas. Louis gets dizzy, holds his head, and clasps on the floor. Int. Louis's beach house, flashback, night. Serena enters into the house, carrying a bag, walks down the living room, climbs the staircase. Serena reaches the top of the staircase. She takes out oxygen mask from her bag and puts it on as she walks toward the bathroom. Int. Louis's beach house, bathroom, night. 2049. Louis remains unconscious. Serena walks in, turns off the NGED, nerve gas emitting device, removes the NGED from the wall and places it in her bag. Serena grabs the gun from the floor and places it on Louis's hand, planting incriminating evidence. Serena then takes out a camera from her bag and takes the photos of Louis, who is lying on the bathroom floor and holding the gun. Serena removes the gun from Louis's hand and places the gun, that has Louis's fingerprints, back on the floor. Serena takes more photos of Louis. Serena photographs the gun on the floor. She takes the pictures of Rachel, who is lying in the bathtub dead. Serena finally turns around and exits. A medium shot of Louis lying unconscious on the bathroom floor and Rachel lying in the bathtub in her own blood. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, Day. Present. Back to Louis and Dr. Mason. Dr. Mason shows Louis the photos that Serena took. Louis looks at the photos in shock. Louis, why did you kill her? Dr. Mason then shows Louis the famous book, Blue Lotus, written by Louis. Dr. Mason, I did my master on this book, Blue Lotus. You talked about quantum universes, how the universe come out of nothing, parallel universes that are governed by our subconscious mind, and how the future shapes up the past. I wasn't always digital neurologist. I started out with quantum physics. I then combined quantum physics and neurology and did my PhD. Later I decided to travel back in time and study your brain. Off Louis' confused look. I know what you are thinking. If time machine exists, why it's not public? You see, I am Illuminati. The Illuminati believe there are things that must be kept out of the public. Time machine is one of them. Louis doesn't believe what he is hearing. On the soundtrack, music comes. Dr. Mason continued to talk. EXT Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Louis is behind the wheel driving in the street of Malibu while talking on his cell phone. We don't hear what he is saying due to the music on the soundtrack. EXT Louis's beach house, day. Emily sits on the step at the front porch, talking on her cell phone. We don't hear what she is saying either due to the music on the soundtrack. Emily has the copy of Rouge Lotus. She listens what Louis has to say. Emily then tells him she loves him, hangs up the cell phone and continue to read the book while waiting for Louis. Omit. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible. Louis comes driving and park his car in front of the house. Emily gets up. Louis, get in. We are leaving. Emily gets in the car. Louis rever out and drives down the road. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Close up, Louis and Emily. Emily, where are we going? Louis, Paris. Emily, why are we going to Paris? Louis, you were right on the money. The Illuminati killed Rachel. Dr. Mason is Illuminati. He traveled in time and shot her. Emily, what are you talking about? Louis, Dr. Mason read Blue Lotus, the last book I wrote. He then traveled back in time and shot Rachel, who involved with Illuminati, so he could conduct experiment on my brain. Emily, that is crazy. Louis, I know. Anyway, it is not safe here. We must leave as soon as possible. I killed Dr. Mason. Emily, what do you mean you killed Dr. Mason? Louis, I shot him. Int. Freud Neurology Center, flashback, research room, day. We return to Louis and Dr. Mason at the research room. Dr. Mason, don't take it personal. It is business. Based on these studies, not only we unlock the secret of the subconscious mind, but we will also make medicine that will cure bipolar disorder, Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, insomnia, borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder and other mental illnesses and neurological disorder. Louis, you don't have to kill her. Out of nowhere Louis produces a gun and shoots Dr. Mason between his eyes. Louis then fires at the research TV screens like Sharon Stone in Sliver Bow. A screen explodes. Bow. Another screen explodes. Bow. Third screen explodes. Bow. Screen 4 explodes. Bow. Screen 5 explodes. Bow. Bow. Bow, etc. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Back to Louis and Emily. Emily, I can't believe you killed Dr. Mason. Louis, he killed my wife. Emily, he could be lying. Louis, it doesn't matter. We are going to Paris. I have already got 2 tickets. Emily, we can't go anywhere. They are satellites that are watching us at this moment. Louis, I don't care if they are watching us. We have to get out of Los Angeles. Emily then takes out a gun from her purse and points the gun at Louis. Emily, stop the fucking car. I am Special Agent Lillian Vincent. I work for M.I.A. Matrix Intelligent Agency. I am employee of Dr. Mason. He is the head of the program. Louis looks at her in shock. Emily, do you recall a girl with blue hair 100 years ago? Probably you don't recognize me. I came at the book signing event, wearing a fake blue wig. Int. Barnes and novel, flashback, book signing, day. 2049. We are at the very beginning of the movie. Louis sit at a table, signing books, Blue Lotus. People stands in a line. Emily, supporting blue hair, gives Louis the book, Blue Lotus, to sign. Louis takes the book, places his signature in the book and gives Emily the book back. Emily gives him a wink. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Back to, Louis and Emily. Emily, pointing the gun at him. Dr. Mason read your book and put a team together to bring you to the future, so we could study your brain and find answer for the subconscious mind as well as cure for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Now stop the car. You can't go anywhere. They are agents waiting for you at the Los Angeles bridge. Louis continues to drive. Out of nowhere come a helicopter and begins to follow him. EXT Los Angeles bridge, day. Capital Alfred, Special Agent Frank, 22 police and SWAT and 10 FBI agents stand in the bridge carrying machine gun and blocking the road. Serena and Dr. Mason are present. Dr. Mason is alive. EXT Los Angeles bridge, Louis's Bugatti Veyron, moving, day. Louis's car drives in the bridge. It is heading toward the ambush. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Louis looks at Emily, who is pointing her gun at him, turns his eyes and steps on the gas, driving faster. Emily, you don't understand. If you don't stop, they will kill you. Louis, I am not afraid of dying. I just can't believe why you have to involve with them. I really like you. Emily, you must trust me. This experiment is for your own good. A beat, you remember the accident. Quick flashback, 2049. We see Louis's car driving in the street of Los Angeles. Louis runs a stop sign. Out of nowhere comes a car, Volvo, and hits Louis's car out of scenario. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Present. Back to, Louis and Emily. Emily, you think you are in the future. But we all lied to you. The fact is you have been sleeping in coma for weeks. We want you to wake up. My name is not Emily. I am not an agent. I am Nurse Lillian Vincent. I work at St. Mary Hospital. You brain create this illusion to keep your brain cells active and heal themselves. But now you must wake up. Mysteriously, Emily's outfit changes into white nurse uniform. The gun turns into pen. She is holding Louis's medical chart. Louis doesn't know what is happening. He continues to drive faster. Emily, as Nurse Lillian, I'm here to help you regain consciousness, Louis. Please listen to me. Stop the car. You are going to get both of us killed. You will fall into the darkness. Louis, I don't believe you. Everything is conspiracy theory. You are playing with my mind. Louis continues to drive faster. EXT Los Angeles bridge, Louis's Bugatti Veyron, moving, day. Capital Alfred, Special Agent Frank, Serena, Dr. Mason, about 22 police and SWAT and 10 FBI agents look at Louis's Bugatti Veyron, driving toward their direction. We notice Louis is alone. We don't see Emily. The cops get set to fire. Medium shot of Louis's Bugatti Veyron as Louis continues to drive in the bridge, toward the trap, with full speed. Capital Alfred gives the police officers order to fire. The cops fire at Louis's Bugatti Veyron. Mysteriously, the bullets move in slow motion. They then freeze in the air like the Matrix. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving. Louis's car turns into little pieces of metals at the moment of contact against the trap, police cars, and passes the ambush untouched. The pieces then amazingly put themselves back together, forming the car. Louis continues to drive in the bridge. Street, Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving. Louis gets into a regular street and continues to drive down the road. In the meantime, we notice the streets are deserted. There is not a single car. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible is the only car in the streets. Medium shot of Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible as Louis continues to drive. Then, out of nowhere comes the same Volvo that we saw at the beginning of the movie driving with full speed and hits Louis's Bugatti Veyron. Louis's Bugatti Veyron spins on the road. Louis's head hits against the driver window. Louis, who is not wearing a seatbelt, floats in the air in slow motion, as if there is no gravity, and falls in the passenger seat. We see it repeatedly, in slow motion and fast forward. Louis slowly closes his eyes and fall unconscious. Int. St. Mary Hospital, coma room, day. Louis sleeps in coma. Emily sits in the chair reading one of Louis's poems, Nothing Like a Heart, from Louis's book The Art of Love. Emily, I don't know what's torturing my heart. This feeling deep inside of my emotions has kept me far above the ground. EXT heaven, night. Sparkling stars. Bright moon. Louis and Emily are in the bathtub placed on floating clouds. They are surrounded by thousands of candles in space. Louis sits behind. Emily rests on Louis's chest with close eyes. Louis is reciting the same poem from memory while planting soft kisses on her shoulder. Louis, softly by her neck. Something under my skin got me lost. To the point nowhere I can't be found. Taking me to a path that I can't turn around. However, giving the last thought to flight and fight. And not knowing what's false and true, wrong and right. Feelings deep inside of me want to kiss thee day and night. I don't want to live, I don't want to die. I don't want to laugh, I don't want to cry. I don't want to talk loud. I don't want to make a sound. Do I have to give my heart to God, pray daily, and have faith in divine providence, but be sad? Or should I sell my soul to the devil and be bad? Because I truly, unfairly, dishonestly, want neither to keep the ache inside my heart and go mad, nor honestly take the fever for granted, and lose the best thing I've ever had. Louis kisses her on the shoulder. Emily smiles in beauty. She opens her eyes, turns around, and gives him her lips. Louis and Emily kiss. Close up, Louis and Emily. They kiss more passionately. Emily, softly by his lips, I love you. Wake up. Int. St. Mary Hospital, coma room, day. Back to, Louis and Emily. Emily kisses Louis on the lips. Louis opens his eyes and looks at Emily. Emily, hey. Louis, hi. Emily, how are you? Louis, I am fine. There is a silent moment. They gaze at each other's eyes as if they knew each other their whole life. He then. Louis, what happened? Emily, you have been sleeping in coma for almost 4 weeks after a car accident. Louis gives her his hand. She takes his hand. Louis kisses her hand. Louis, thanks for everything. Emily, you welcome. They continue to gaze at each other's eyes silently. She then. Emily, let me get the doctor. When she is about to leave. Louis, wait, don't go yet. A beat, you are the most beautiful girl I have ever seen in my life. What are you an angel? Emily gets closer and kisses him on the lips. Emily, softly down by his lips, I am a nurse. I read your book. You are romantic. She gives him a luscious kiss. Emily, I'll be back. Emily leaves. Louis touches his lips and says, what sweet lips softly. Int. St. Mary Hospital, recovery room, day. Louis sits on the hospital bed, leaning against the bed frame. Dr. Mason examines Louis's brain MRI. Dr. Mason, you may experience a little bit confusion, headache, amnesia for a short period. At the entrance, Rachel walks in with a bouquet of flowers. Rachel, hi, honey. She puts the flowers on the table, comes and kisses him on the lips. Rachel, it's good to see that you are finally awake. I thought I might never see your beautiful eyes. She gives him a juicy kiss. Louis, who are you? Rachel, what do you mean who am I? Did you lost your memory? I am your wife. Louis, I don't know you. Emily, to Dr. Mason, did he suffer from amnesia? Louis, no, I am fine. I am fucking with you. It's a joke. He gives her his hand. They kiss intimately. Rachel, I missed you. Louis, I missed you too. They kiss more sweetly. At the entrance, Emily walks in with Louis's cranberry juice. Louis looks at Emily. Louis, to Rachel, can you do me a favor? Rachel, what is it? Louis, I have this strong craving for chocolate cake. Would you mind going to Cheesecake Factory and get me a slice? Rachel, I don't think you should eat sugar. It's not good for your health. To Dr. Mason, am I wrong, Dr. Mason? Dr. Mason, it's okay. He can have anything he wants. It's normal for patients who come out of coma to crave things that are sweet. It's their brain's way of saying, I am back. Rachel, to Louis, I don't know if I can't leave you for half second. I thought I lost you forever. She kisses him on the lips. Louis, I'll be fine. They exchange soft kisses. Rachel, okay. I'll get you anything you want. They kiss. Rachel, I'll be right back. To Dr. Mason, keep your eyes on him. Dr. Mason, he will be fine. Rachel looks at Emily, who is carrying Louis's cranberry juice on a tray. Rachel, hi. Emily, hi. Rachel, don't let him go back to sleep. Emily, sure. Rachel leaves. Emily walks up to Louis with his juice. Emily, here. Louis, thanks. Louis takes the juice and has a sip and puts it aside. Dr. Mason continues where he left off. Dr. Mason, there is no major damage in your brain. We'll discharge you as soon as we evaluate the final MRI. Louis nods, sure. Dr. Mason looks at Louis, who seems a little bit confused. Dr. Mason, let me give you a word of advice. Life always drives us inches closer to the end every chance it gets. For what? For all that is illusion. Yet it all stops the moment you get up and say, it's my life, and it's real. I have to live my life to the fullest. You then become immortal. I will see you. Louis, take care. Dr. Mason leaves. Louis and Emily gaze at each other. There is a silent moment. She then. Emily, I guess this is goodbye. Louis, what make you say that? Emily, your wife. You are in love with her. Louis, I have always loved her, but I don't remember she reading me a single poetry. Quick flashback, montage. St. Mary Hospital. We see Emily reading poetry to Louis, who is sleeping in coma. Louis, voiceover or shaving my beard. St. Mary Hospital. We see Emily shaving Louis's beard, who is sleeping in coma. Louis, voiceover kissing my lips each morning and each night. St. Mary Hospital, night. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. Emily, good night. St. Mary Hospital, morning. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. Emily, good morning. St. Mary Hospital. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. Cut to, St. Mary Hospital. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. Cut to, St. Mary Hospital. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. Cut to, St. Mary Hospital. Emily kisses Louis who is sleeping in coma. The last kiss, she puts her tongue between his lips seductively and gives him sweet French kiss. St. Mary Hospital, recovery room, present. Back to, Louis and Emily. Louis, as far as I know, you are my wife. Emily says nothing. Louis gives Emily his hands. Emily takes his hand. Louis pulls her closer. Louis, I thought you were an angel of God. I felt I've known you for eternity. Emily smiles in beauty. Louis and Emily kiss. Emily parts her lips, unbuttons her nurse uniform, she is not wearing bra, revealing her sweet breasts. Emily takes off her underwear, and drops it on the floor. She removes the blanket away from Louis and gets on the top of him. Louis and Emily kiss. Close up, Louis and Emily. They kiss more passionately as they begin to make love. On the soundtrack, music play melodiously. EXT airplane, flying, day. Airplane flies in the air. Int. Airplane, flying, day. We see Louis and Emily kissing in the first class. The stewardess comes with their drinks, champagne, and interrupts them with a little sound. Louis and Emily part their lips. The stewardess gives them their drinks and walks away. Louis and Emily connect their glasses in cheers, take sips, put their drinks on the table, and talk between soft kisses. Louis must have said something humorous. She smiles in beauty, gets up, sits on his lap, and puts her arms around him. They kiss French. EXT San Sebastian, Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. 2050 Bugatti Veyron, Louis, who is behind the wheel, and Emily, who is in the passenger seat, drive in the street of San Sebastian, Spain. On the soundtrack, we continue to hear music. Int. Louis's Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. Louis looks at Emily who is sleeping. Louis smiles softly, and focuses on the road as they continue to drive in the street of Saint Sebastian. EXT San Sebastian, Bugatti Veyron convertible, moving, day. An established shot of Bugatti Veyron moving in the street of Saint Sebastian with Louis and Emily. We then take it with overhead shot looking down the city of Saint Sebastian and the Bay of Biscay. EXT Louis and Emily's winery field, France, bathtub, sunset. Louis and Emily are in the bathtub placed in the middle of winery field. We see hundreds of customs-made candles around the bathtub. The tub is filled with red wine. Emily rests on Louis's chest with closed eyes. Louis sits behind, reciting a poem that he wrote for Emily, from memory. Louis, softly down by her neck, you are like a candle that burns without wax. Your beauty is sensual and sexual, between an angel and a femme fatale, that kisses you softer than air. But breaks your bone stronger than axe. I, who falls head over heels in love with thee, my heart might as well straighten up its axe, or it will stop beating from climax. Your eyes are like two lakes that exist in the Garden of Eden. They keep me mesmerized. Yet, when it's required, they burn souls with desire. Your lips are fairy tales, and tell stories about a girl, who was accused of being a beautiful liar. She told sweet lies. She said love is all about falling in love with a person that you admire. It only hurts when it wants to be inspired rather than inspire. And she fails to mention about kisses that leave you higher. And her eyes that knot a cardio muscle with barbed wire. And once upon a time set many heart on fire. When you are happy, all hearts are happy. When you suffer, all hearts suffer. And above everything, your sexy eyes promise love that will never expire. And if the gods were to understand thee, you just want to give your beautiful heart, make love, dance, and fire a gun, leave bullet holes in the hearts of Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. And always have fun. Someone to love you, love to hold you dearly. A soul to kiss you sweeter than the sun. Emily smiles in beauty. She opens her eyes. They kiss. Emily, softly down by his lips, I love you. Louis, I love you, too. They kiss French. Close up, Louis and Emily. They kiss more intimately. The end. Note, if it is convenient, we will add the following scene to keep everybody guessing, or we will leave it alone the way it is. Int. Freud Neurology Center, Research Room, Day. 52 neurologists and scientists, Serena, Dr. Keaton, and Dr. Mason look at the screens analyzing Louis's dream as Louis and Emily continue to kiss.